stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Now that you misplaced the pair.
This is only the
I'm supposed to speak first, Stefan.
My bad. I was unmuted.
What's up, people? Welcome. It's Friday night, and you bet we're live. I'm here with the brothers from the other mothers. We've got Mari, we've got Matt, we've got Stefan in the building. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Mari? You right, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just got home from work. Ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and roll. How's our Brummy Spurs fan, originally from London, Matt? How you doing, Matt?
Living the dream. Unbeaten in September. Can we go into October still unbeaten?
I'm going to find out tomorrow. And Stefan in the building. How you doing, Stefan? Hope you got over Sunday.
Oh yeah, it was really tough. It was I'm already mourning the actual draw that you guys did. You know, for you guys it was a big victory, I know. So yeah, I got over it by going on a trip to Budapest for 3 days. Had a blast. Now I'm back and just ready to actually school you again, Stel. So looking forward to that. Yeah,
you sound really happy as well, by the way. I wonder why. Big up to Strasbourg, Steve. He'll be joining us in just a minute. LA 007, how are you doing? We've got Chris in the building. 3SS, what's up? Asana Potato, how you doing? Tony Rodriguez, our brother from Sweden. We've got William in the house. We've got Ryan Busy. Ryan Isaacs, I was with him last night at Brian Daigle's leaving dinner. Stuart Hills, how you doing, brother? We've got John George. How you doing, my man? Jones from Scandinavia. How are you doing, bro? Daniel's in the house. We've got Jeff in the house. We've got Danny from Holland. How you doing, Danny? The bun. Tot Spurs, Sammy and the boys. Big up to you. Mark Cousins, as always. How you doing, brother? We've also got Steve. There he is, joining us.
Hey, what's going on?
Steve, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. Yeah, nice talking. Thanks for the invite, bro. Well, I invited myself technically. Thanks for me the link. It's gonna be a good show. I love the Friday night review show. Good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Big win for Newcastle as well midweek. We'll get into it in just a minute. We've got Ben in the house. Graham, how are you doing? He's in the house. Igor, Wayne Holland, Leicester fan, loves the channel. We love him too.
Okay.
We've got Scott, we've got Stuart, and Rafish has just joined us as well. Rafish, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for everyone, guys. Happy Friday. What more can you ask? Looking forward to the action.
Yeah, so let's do a quick review of the week, and then we'll get into the weekend's event. So, obviously, on the weekend, the North London derby ended in a 2-2 draw. I think Spurs fans definitely more happier than the two coming out of that game because we weren't expected to do much, but we got a good draw. I think. 1 minute, Stefan. 1 second. No, Stefan. Don't start now. I haven't finished. Stefan.
I thought you guys won. I thought you guys won. I'm sorry.
He's rattled. Stefan's rattled.
I thought you guys won. I'm so sorry, Stel. Sorry.
He's rattled.
In fact, do you know what? There's no point me even trying to explain what happened last weekend. Let's go. Let's get this off Stefan's chest because he's still got things that he hasn't got off his chest. It's clear to us he's still got issues on his chest. So let's have this quick discussion before we get into the weekend. I was having this chat with Ben and with Simeon yesterday in the We Are Tottenham TV studios because I did a couple of videos with him yesterday, right? And I said to him, Sim, you do like Tottenham TV every single day. You've been doing it for 5 years and whatnot. I don't remember in my life an Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal, North London derby where so much salt has been sprayed by Arsenal fans. Like, I genuinely can't remember a North London derby where there's been so much salt. Is it just me, or have there been other games like this? I don't get the saltiness from them. I don't get why they're so salty.
The saltiness?
Like, genuinely, I'm not trying to trigger anyone. This is a genuine question. All week, like every YouTube channel I've watched, every podcast I've listened to, whether it's Tottenham, Arsenal, multi-team channel, the media, it's just crazy. I don't get it.
Stel, are you talking to me or are you just
talking to anyone that wants to listen?
I think because it's, they're coming off a great year. They were first the whole year last season, and then either you believe they bottled it or just Man City took over. I believe they bottled it, but this year they're coming in. Some believe they're better than City, some believe they're second, and so for them this year, this year they're dropping points to Tottenham, where in other years, last year they did the double. So this year, that's why it's a little bit saltiness, because they're like, wait, hold up. I also feel maybe they're a little bit extra salty because, to be honest, they're undefeated, but they're not happy undefeated. Like, if you listen to someone really break down Arsenal fan, they know that this year they're not really playing the way they want, and then they're looking at City, and they're like, oh boy. So that's why they may be a bit saltiness. I'm putting on my psychologist hat on, and I think that's why this year, more than the previous years, it's a bit more salty.
Does anyone else feel that? Let me come to Steve because you're neutral. You're neutral. You're Newcastle. You don't give a damn about Tottenham or Arsenal. You couldn't care less. You're not even from London. Like, who gives a damn, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call him
Steve.
neutral, but yeah.
Well, that's,
I'm very neutral.
He hates Arsenal, Stel. He hates Arsenal.
I don't hate Arsenal. You're just easy to.
Why don't we let Steve speak for himself? Let's let Steve speak, right? Okay. Steve, how have you seen the reaction from both sides? Like, what's your honest, neutral position on this?
Yeah, it's North London derby, typical, man. It's probably a bit more. It's probably a bit more like I don't know, saltiness, emotion, tension. Just because, like, you know, I Spurs are, you know, they've got a really good side off to a good start, and Arsenal, they you know, some fans recognize that you know, they weren't going to blow them out and stuff like that. Some of them did. It's just it's a lot on the line. It's a lot on the line. So I don't know, to be honest. It's just funny sitting back. Like, I'll take shots, Stefan. As much as you say I hate Arsenal, I've given banter with them before. Like, if they take a shot and it's something stupid, then I schooled Elias when he said, "Well, technically it's a 2-2 away goals." I schooled him when he said that.
That was embarrassing. But
exactly. So, bro, look, I just think looking back.
You go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I in the group chat, I just like sitting back, throwing a comment in here and there. It's fun and games, bro. Fun and games, and that's what I'm all about. So yeah, it's chill.
Yeah, but Steve, my question is about the saltiness. Did you sense saltiness or not?
Like anger, bitter, a bit. Yeah,
saltiness. Yeah, bitterness. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of that, sure. Like, no one likes to draw or lose with their, arch rivals at their home ground, and there are a lot of expectations on Arsenal. That's probably why the saltiness. And they're also probably, Arsenal fans will obviously be really, really annoyed and pissed off that they've got injuries to, a lot of their players now. So
yeah,
that also.
But nobody mentions that. The fact that we have
everyone's mentioned it. That's been your number one excuse.
Nobody mentioned that.
Your number one excuse.
Nobody
every Arsenal fan has gone to the injuries.
The number one.
Every Arsenal fan's used that as an injury.
Yeah, okay.
If Declan was on the pitch, if Trossard started, you would have battered us 5-1. This is all I've heard.
No, I don't want to use that excuse, but it's not saltiness. It's just the realization.
You said no one mentions it, Stefan, but everyone.
No one mentions it. No,
you're changing the subject.
The saltiness is when Arsenal fans say Spurs fans celebrating like they won a trophy. Exactly. No, the reason why they're a bit pumped up or a bit excited, or they're going to give you some stick, because a lot of Arsenal fans thought that Spurs were going to get crushed like a bug, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And here's Steph, I'm gonna explain to you exactly why they have that reaction. Like, break it down. When you say something extravagant will happen, and then it doesn't to your opponent, and your opponent says, "Well, you didn't beat my ass up, did you? You didn't. Why? What's up?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think we were gonna beat Sheffield United 8-0. That was gonna be like a 2-1 last minute winner, like their other two games. So of course, you know what I'm saying? It's.
Steve,
that's the dynamic that I'm reading.
No, I completely agree. Like,
you were the heavy favorites also at home.
Yeah,
so I get it.
I completely agree with you that I deserve to get roasted last week because I predicted that we would beat them handily. But the reaction from Spurs fans has been absolutely embarrassing. To celebrate, it's as if you guys won at the Emirates. It is.
Because you said you were going to hand their ass on a plate.
Okay,
and nobody's celebrating the draw, dude. Like, seriously, who is this imaginary person that all the Arsenal fans keep talking about celebrating the draw?
Stell, did you not see the clips he posted celebrating?
They were excited about the goals that we scored. What are you talking about? The fact that you're in the mud.
It's just.
I was saying. I put videos saying, "Look at those Arsenal fans. They're all quiet." That's what I said, and you were quiet.
Because they were.
Arsenal fans.
Even Arsenal fans said that the atmosphere at the stadium on the day was a church.
Dead.
No Arsenal fans said this.
Yes,
Wolf.
they did. Do you not watch Egal's channel? There was like 7 Arsenal fans on there, and they all said the atmosphere was dead.
Who said this? Who said this?
Lead judges. Lead judges.
Is this the guy that you guys always go to?
No, you asked me for examples. I gave you that's 8 examples, man.
He's at the game. But he's at the game.
He was at the game, yeah.
Right. Gunnar League, lead judges, Egal,
the most emotional,
the Egyptian guy. What's his name? Wears the green Arsenal top all the time.
The guy who, the guy who, when we lose, just like Turkish, end of the world, or we draw, end of the world. When we win, we're gonna win the league. This is them in a nutshell. After every game that we play. If we win, okay, we're looking good. We might win the league. We lose, it's over for us. So don't give me these fans as examples, because they're not, especially when it comes.
They're the ones on YouTube and social media, my man. That's all I can go by. I don't know every Arsenal fan. I can only go by the ones I can see.
Exactly.
Stefan, what Arsenal? Because that's fine. If you have certain people that you like more than others, or the insight,
who should I watch, Stefan? Tell me.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
go watch them.
What Arsenal
should you watch? I'm not saying who should you watch. It's just Stel has named some of these people, has shat on some of these people, but then when they suit his points of view, he uses them as a basis or a source of information.
No,
that's
not
what
at all.
annoys me.
Not at all. Not at all.
Come on, Stel. Come
Tried,
on, Stel.
Stefan. I saw the
No. I've said there's certain channels that are driven by the media, and they will feed the media narrative of positivity, like certain Spurs channel that will always defend Levy under
Last
any
word on
circumstances.
Spurs, Chris Cowan, AFTV. They're all in that vein, right?
But what I haven't done is shat on channels when they're sharing how they felt on the day. These Arsenal fans, they said on the day, we couldn't wait to get out of this stadium. We didn't like the atmosphere. That's their emotion of how they felt, not a fact that they're trying to claim. There's a difference there.
Okay, but
I don't have any statistics on the decibel rating at the stadium on the day, so I can't.
Okay, let's just get back to why Arsenal fans. I wouldn't call them salty. I am maybe I'm salty because I was annoyed, but.
That's all we want, Stefan. That's all we wanted to hear. And I'm not even a Spurs fan. I just want you to acknowledge that you thought it was going to go one way and it didn't. And you should be upset.
It didn't.
If we played Sunderland right now, I would say we should smack them up 4-0. We beat Man City, Sheffield United. We're a far better. They're in the championship. I would be livid if we didn't smack them up. Livid if we drew with them.
But Steve,
you should feel like this. It's okay.
Yes, but Steve, but my point is that they still haven't. It's the last state. It's they have the worst record in terms of. I think the Emirates Stadium they've won there in since 2010. I don't think they have a worse record in terms of winning at the Emirates Stadium compared to any other.
All of us would admit that right now. All of us would admit that right now. We could look at it.
They wouldn't. But here, the thing that annoyed me was that Spurs fans came out of that game like a bunch of losers saying, "Oh, we didn't get thrashed, so we technically won."
You guys were putting us to the sword the whole week before. Every show on YouTube was Spurs don't have a chance. There's no chance. 4-0, 5-0. Not just from Arsenal fans, by the way, from neutrals as well. Man United, Liverpool,
fans, Chelsea, West
Ham, everybody. Nobody gave us a chance. Nobody gave us a chance to even get a point.
Okay.
That's why we're hyped up.
Relax there a little bit. First of all, nobody from any sort of Arsenal fans gave up. I was disappointed, but I didn't use the injuries as an excuse because it was, for me, we should have beaten you even with those.
Did you watch my reaction video on Egal?
Okay. I mean, Egal asked for it. He was, I predicted 3-1. You guys remember,
Stefan,
I said 3-1.
You literally came on this show after the loss, and when I quoted you, you literally said, "Don't make me clip you." You said, in your opinion, if Declan Rice was on the pitch and Trossard started, you would have beaten us. Now you're saying
the only reason we outplayed in the second half was because of the injuries.
If 100, I personally think
you're contradicting yourself now.
Declan Rice
now you're contradicting yourself.
Yes. If Declan Rice and Trossard
you are.
played, we would have won. Okay. Still, that's
But
my
how do you
opinion.
know that? How do you know that?
That's my opinion. I don't know that. I just watched the first half where you consistently lost the ball in your own half at least 5 or 6 times, where Gabriel Jesus, if that was, in my opinion, if that was a better, if he had played that better, I just think we should have won that game based on the actual chances we had.
And I think we should have won that game based on the chances we had.
No,
Yeah, they had chances too.
You didn't. The way the game was going, we lost control of the midfield the moment Declan Rice.
All right, guys, 1 minute. We're going over the same chat we've had the last week. Let me bring in Matt and Rakish, right? Let me bring these guys because they're always calm, a bit more of a sensible head, not so, we're quite, big personality, so to speak. I want to bring in Matt and Rakish, right? Matt, in your humble opinion, and I know you're a humble man, did you sense an excessive amount of saltiness, or was it what Steve said, just general North London derby post-match jibes?
I think the whole week, the predictions were from the Arsenal fan base that this was a foregone conclusion. It was more just a case of by how many goals they were going to beat us by. So I think, firstly, the fact that they didn't win the football match was the first kind of problem for them. And secondly, I think it's the manner of the performance. Had our 2 goals been a debatable penalty and a deflection,
own goal or something,
if had Tottenham's 2 goals been that's the first thing they would have come back with. You didn't even score a legitimate goal. So the fact that we had, in my opinion, the better chances, the fact that our goals were we created them. There was a formation, there was a plan.
How did you create the second goal? How did you create the second goal?
Because Madison nicked him, and then they had to drive. Look, this is what I'm talking about. This is the revision. I'm gonna let him finish, but I gotta correct. I gotta correct the interruption first. Hold on. I gotta correct the interruption first. Correct the interruption first. When Jesus nicked it off Madison, Madison was already in our box, and all he had to do was take one touch and shoot. Correct? True or false?
Yeah.
When Madison nicked Jorginho, he was in the middle of the park, in between the half field line and the D, had to drive an additional 10, 15 yards, then play Son in, who made the run to get there in the first place, and then Son had to finish the shot. Far more ability and technical prowess and creativity was involved in our goal than in the shot. Period. That's a fact, Stefan.
No. This is the bullshitter because in that moment,
I want Matt to. He was saying, let Matt finish.
Let me answer. Will. But he just lied. He just lied there.
Stefan,
I didn't lie.
I'm going to let you reply. I just want Matt to finish what he's saying.
Sorry, Matt. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so I think it was the manner of the performance, which in my opinion has really got the Arsenal fans disgruntled, because I think in their true calmness, they have to admit Tottenham were the better team, especially the second half. I think they had a foregone conclusion after the season that we had, that this was a walk in the park. They slept on Tottenham. And we creeped up and footballed them on their own backyard. Those are the facts.
Yeah, great.
Well, the end result is the end result, but the fact that we footballed supposedly the better team in their own backyard, surely you have to, Stefan, concede that we dominated second half.
How can I concede when you didn't win, Matt?
We're talking about performance. We're talking about performance.
What is this loser mentality? We footballed you, but we didn't win. We got to the final, but we didn't win anything. Great. Do you want?
We're not talking about the final. We're not talking about
they're literally
your ground on Sunday.
I'm not understanding your logic, Stefan. All right, so if we didn't get pumped, but we got a result, so how is that to be taken, right? If the mentality is, okay, we didn't get the win, but we're going to draw because we were supposed to get pumped. So what is a reaction for any team that was supposed to get pumped, but they got to draw on the road? How's their reaction supposed to be?
You didn't. If you look at the stats, even the most biased Arsenal fans, if you look at the stats, the game was even. We had similar shots. We had similar. We had you had a bit more possession. I think it was. But let me
more possession, more chances created from open play.
Let me just go back.
More big chances.
Go back to what Will said. What Will missed out for the second goal was that Saliba had gone out of position and went into the middle, into that formation. So the moment when Jorginho lost the ball,
whose fault is that?
Run that Son made.
Whose fault is that?
Was literally no. It was Jorginho's fault because of the formation.
No, you just said Saliba was out of position.
Okay,
whose fault is that?
But Will tried to make it out to be as if Maddison had a very difficult pass to make when there was fucking you could have parked a jumbo jet where Saliba had left.
It was a 2-on-1. When is there ever a difficult pass in a 2-on-1 defensive formation? What are you talking about?
2-on-1. What do you mean 2-on-1?
One defender, two attackers, 2-on-1. That's what a 2-on-1 means, my man. There's only one possible explanation here.
Okay.
Like seriously, you're going. This is the problem that I have with your guys' analysis. If say the roles were reversed, I would honestly say, based on the actual things that happened, yeah, we got outplayed, but we were lucky to get out of the result. Right? That just shows that you guys couldn't break us down as much as you needed to in order to get the win on the day. That's what I would say. But the problem is you guys completely revisionize this to say that if our players had played a perfect game, we would have beat you. Yeah, ours too.
Well,
without the Romero deflection, we beat you 2-1. Without the Romero penalty, we beat you 2-1. Okay, yes, deflection. Okay. Saka's shot was not on target. How many times do I have to tell you this? 1,000 times. Look at every statistic. They don't even count it as an Arsenal goal because it's not. We scored on ourselves.
Oh my God. Okay. How did the game go? Arsenal took the lead twice. If you're a good team at home,
from us giving you goals. You took the lead twice. You didn't create a single goal. You did not create a single goal.
You know what? All I see here is one angry Arsenal fan and everyone else is chilled, yet we're salty. I'm just lost. I'm so lost with this whole situation.
No, you're not salty, Stel. You're not salty.
Why are you so angry and upset by this then?
No, I'm not angry. I just can't believe that
you're not happy, are you?
I've never seen.
I want to hear from Matt.
Your anger comes from the fact that you're upset that we got at you on your own ground. That's it. That's the psychology behind it.
You didn't win, man. You didn't win.
It doesn't matter if we won or not. I didn't say anything about winning, did I? I said the reason why you're upset and salty is because we got at you at your own ground when you thought you were better than us.
And you didn't demolish Spurs like you thought you would. Again, Stefan, your reaction is normal. Your reaction is normal.
You think you're the better team and you aren't.
Yes. No, Matt, go on, Matt.
Just one question. Just one question for Stefan. Before the game and now after the game, would you say that Tottenham played better than you thought?
Matt, I completely agree with you. Where I honestly underestimated Spurs, just like a lot of Arsenal fans.
That's all.
I underestimated Spurs, but the sequence, we can talk about hypotheticals here. I'm talking about the sequence in the game itself that happened. Arsenal took the lead twice. If this was Man City or a serious team, Spurs would have never come back into the game. This is my point. If we were the clinical or whatever, or a serious team in terms of at home defensively and taking control of the game and managing the game, this is what I am the most frustrated about. Not about Spurs going at us. I've seen much better Spurs teams go at Arsenal. The Harry Redknapp teams who got beat 5-2. The Poch teams, he lost there twice. So I've seen better Spurs teams go at Arsenal. What I am the most furious about is that Spurs fans harp on about how great they were and all of this, when if you look at the actual game, Arsenal took the lead twice, and the second goal was so egregious from Jorginho, who the most experienced player on the pitch, easily, the most accomplished player on the pitch, made that mistake. So that's why I'm frustrated. And because I'm frustrated because I keep hearing that Spurs played this great.
We're frustrated that VAR gave a penalty. We're frustrated that a deflected goal gave you the first goal. We're frustrated too, Stefan.
How is that a deflected goal? The guy played volleyball.
It wasn't on target. It wasn't on target.
In the middle of the
box. Wasn't even close to being on target. I have it here. You want to see it?
It was an own goal. It's gone down as an own goal. That means it's off target. He was on target and it hit Romero.
Look at this.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the penalty. My bad. Okay. Yeah, the own goal. Okay. I'm not saying.
Yeah, we're frustrated.
We're aggrieved. Why is Romero kicking an off-target shot into the back of our net when our goalkeeper is going the other direction? Does even make a save if he had to?
I told you this before. He shit 2 mistakes again.
Should he have done that? Yes or no?
Huh?
Should Romero have scored in our own goal?
But that's
then we're aggrieved. That's the point.
Here's the point.
The player made a mistake and it cost a goal for you guys. Exactly.
Guys, let me bring Rafish. Rafish, you haven't even spoken yet, man. It's been 30 minutes and the poor guy's just sitting there.
You got to get that man smell out there, you know?
Right.
Just jump in.
Rafish, how do you feel about this in terms of the just post-match meltdown, saltiness, anger, frustration? What do you make of it?
The way I see it still is that with me, like I tend to look at it from both sides, like in a sense that, you know, it's just a North London derby. It's just a football match after all. But then the other side is that the reason why why Spurs fans are coming out of the game with more satisfaction is because before kickoff, right, every single person written us off beforehand. Now, of course, historically at Arsenal, 2 wins since the Premier League began isn't great, 1993 and 2010. And I feel like, you know, people like Paul Merson predicted 5-0, saying that Spurs will get destroyed, Spurs will get annihilated. No, I'm not saying you, Steph, I'm saying Paul Merson.
Okay.
Darren Bent on TalkSport talking absolute waffle, saying no Spurs player are getting a combined 11. Like, what planet does this guy live on? Like, the whole point of it is you got to try to be objective, but that's not the case with Bent. But the game itself, like the performance was really encouraging. I mean, we knew we'd have to weather the storm because, you know, first 20, 25 minutes, you would expect Arsenal to have more possession, more threat. I mean, Udogie, who came up against Bukayo Saka, one of the best wingers in the league, he's had a rough time. Like, he had a rough start. I mean, it's a learning treat for him because it's his first derby. And the thing is, if you compare the last North London derby, which was it, exactly a year ago up to this point, when we lost 3-1, we had bang average players. We had Emerson Royale playing. Big up to Ren. We had Emerson Royale. We had Eric Dyer starting. We had the French Harry Maguire in Clement Longley. You know, we had Perisic. That's the thing.
Harry Maguire, that's good.
He is. He is, yeah. Like, the difference between last year and this year is that Ange's come in and just changed the whole thing. Like, the playing 11. Yes, there's question marks over the squad depth, but as long as you're going in the right direction, what more can you ask? And the way I see it with the reactions, like, the way Arsenal fans, and especially online, like on socials, like, and YouTube channels, they're saying 9-10 top Arsenal players. Sorry, only they struggle to find any Spurs players in their combined 11s. Like, it's just childish, really. It's just a football match, but at the same time, it's borderline sour grapes. That's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, people were saying that Gabriel Jesus gets in over Son at striker, which is just mental.
Will. Nobody gets ahead of Son. Messi, Neymar, Ibrahim. Nobody. He's the greatest player that ever lived. Don't worry, Will. We all know this.
That's a great straw man that you just built up there to chop down.
Ever lived in your eyes.
Because Son is better than Gabriel Jesus. Son gets in over all of those players you just named.
Is there a better player in world football than Son?
Yeah, I'd take Haaland over Son as a striker any day of the week.
God. Well, that was a difficult choice there. That was difficult.
Who else would I pick in the Premier League right now?
I'm talking world football.
Stefan, do you know what? Right? Do you know
Harry Kane?
For me,
you would take Kane over Son?
As a striker,
Eddie and Keddy is clean.
Stefan, I'm going to say something that you can relate to.
Man. Stop kissing their ass, man. Come on, man.
Stefan, 1 minute.
Nobody's kissing ass. He's just being honest, man. You're the one not being honest.
Yeah,
Stefan.
Always, yeah, okay. Go on.
Stefan. I'm gonna say something to you that I think you can relate to based on things you've been saying for a couple of years now, so that you can understand where us Spurs fans are coming from with this. Okay, so the reason I was so happy, right? I actually couldn't give a shit about the result after that game. After what I watched, if we had just lost at the end, I would have been disappointed, but I would have taken it quite well. If we'd beaten you, I would have been even more joyous, right? The reason I was happy, and I do think I speak for a lot of Spurs fans, is because when Arteta finished eighth, bottled top 4, what I heard from a lot of Arsenal fans was, But look at the performances. Look at the process. We're improving. We're improving. Look at the direction we're going in. You could see light at the end of the tunnel, despite these kind of not so good results and just missing out on certain things as the season went on, right? Finishing 8th, just missing top 4. And after 3-4 years of it, you nearly won the league last year playing brilliant football. Yeah, brilliant football.
Yeah.
So when Spurs are right at the beginning of that process, when you were finishing 8th and 8th, and at the start of the season, all our Spurs fans were saying, do you know what, man? I hope we finish above mid-table. We've lost Harry Kane. Angie's going to need to rebuild this. Oh, man, God help us. And after 5 games, we're playing football we thought we were going to see in 3 years' time, not 3 weeks' time. And then we go to the second best team in the country and we matched you toe to toe. Dude, we're buzzing because what we're seeing now, we thought would take 3 years like it did for you. So when you got excited about your process, dude, for me as a Spurs fan, I feel like we're way ahead of the process and I don't understand how it's happened. And I'm being honest with you. Yeah, as a coach, I know these things take time. I'm seeing it now and I'm just blown away by it. And I think that's how most Spurs fans feel.
5-6 games, but we didn't expect it. I know I kept saying it. The points that we've gotten from 14 out of 18. If you told me in the beginning of the season that we're going to have that, I would have said, all right, pass me what you're smoking. So we're all like, okay, we see the progress. This is why Spurs fans are like hopeful. We're excited because we're like, okay, we're seeing this, because before then, we're like, we don't know what to expect. Like Stout says, we just lost Harry Kane. We didn't know what to expect. We had a disaster preseason, right? Game canceled, and so on. And it's so for us, we're like, man, this is pretty good. Man, we can see this. Okay, let's see what we're building here. It's a process. That's why I'm excited, right? If you had told me that we would have got a result at the Emirates at the beginning of the season, I would have said, yeah, okay.
Mari, I agree with you. The problem is, and I have told you this, you're going through, I wouldn't consider this period now as like telling of how the season is going to unfold. That's my opinion. Because I went through this period when Wenger left. The first 3 months of Emery, we went on a 20 plus, I forgot, I think it was 22 games unbeaten, where we went to a number of places, where we beat you guys 4-2, where we took Liverpool, we outplayed them at the Emirates and should have beaten them, and it finished 1-1, where everything was looking great and rosy. That's my point. This is your honeymoon period. This is something fresh. After playing horrendous football under coaches that thought they were better than you, that undermined the players, that consistently belittled the players. Now suddenly these players, I've gotten kind of a sense of responsibility with the new coach and a sense of trust, similar to Basuma and Romero. So
it's a new squad. It's a new squad. Mario, Udogie, Van de Ven, Madison, Solomon. This is a new squad.
It's real hard. It's real hard to pinpoint, because though Arsenal went through that experience, right? We know life doesn't go through that way. It doesn't mean that we have to have the same exact results. Like we finished 8th, 2nd, where it could be 5th, 2nd, 1st. It's really different. Like I understand what you're saying, but it's hard to pinpoint that with any team, not even Spurs, just with any team, because you have to let things play out.
Unai Emery wasn't dominating the ball or creating half the amount of chances we're creating, dude. It's a different style of football completely.
Okay. Well, you know what? Unai Emery, I think in October had us 3rd in the first round. 3rd or
he's 4th. A good manager. Unai Emery's a good manager.
No, but
yeah,
we were excited because he was after 20 plus years of Wenger and we needed something new. The team also were really happy. But then when shit hit the fan with Arsenal, which was at the end of the season, when Emery managed the squad poorly, when we lost the Europa League final, the squad lost complete confidence in him. But
what happened when Unai Emery came to White Hart Lane with Arsenal?
It finished 1-1.
And
we should have won. We should. I remember Aubameyang missed the pen at the end, right?
But we weren't saying we're going to smash you. We're going to destroy you. You lot did.
Yeah, okay, but you've never in terms of. But did you see us celebrate a draw at White Hart Lane the same way you guys did?
Bro, you guys celebrated a loss away to Man City. You celebrated a second half. Your fan base on social media celebrated. Did you see us? We beat Manchester City in that second half, and you still lost the game, my man.
What are you talking about?
AFTV, Egal, the Football Terrace, every channel where Arsenal fans are going on, they were all saying the same thing. We were the better team. We beat Manchester City in the second half. You didn't even win. You didn't even get a point.
Are you talking about the FA Cup game where we lost 1-0?
No, it was the 2-1 loss.
At home.
I think it was away. It was at the Emirates.
It was at the Emirates, yeah.
Or at the at the Etihad.
No, it wasn't at the Etihad. It was at the Emirates. 2-1 where they scored in the last minute. And
last minute, Rodri.
Yeah, and we played. We should have won that game. We played. Really
See, that's what I'm talking about.
No. In terms of even Pep Guardiola in the interview said we were really lucky. They should have beaten us. So.
Do you know what I find fascinating? 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 If you listen to neutral fans who don't support Tottenham or have Arsenal affiliation, Chelsea, Man United, whoever they may be,
Liverpool,
on these multi-channel shows, multi-club shows, when they were talking about the Liverpool Spurs game, half of them are predicting Spurs can get something from the game. Some are saying we can beat them. These are our rivals saying this about us, right? I feel, other than a biased Arsenal fan, and I wouldn't expect anything less, I'd expect a biased Spurs fan to be the same, by the way. I feel the majority of people who watch football are looking at Spurs right now with a real interest. Like, we enjoy your football. This Ange guy, I kind of like this Ange guy. I want to hate you, but I kind of like him. And I wonder where this goes. And I just felt going into that North London derby, Arsenal fans just didn't see it that way. And we were saying it. I remember us saying, you're underestimating us, man. You're not even giving us a chance. And I think now you've kind of seen it. And let's listen, as a Spurs fan, I know if Son gets injured, if we lose Van de Ven or Maddison, if we lose one of those three, I think we're going to struggle. I think we're going to struggle if we lose one of them. There's no replacement for any of those three at Spurs, not one of them.
Your first 11 is very good, but the depth is I
just want to address this because I'm hearing this a lot, right? When we're talking about the specific topic, can Will please stop using social media people as a representative of Gooners? So annoying. Most Gooners I know aren't so extreme. That's the problem. I'm not a Gooner. The only Gooners that I know are Stefan, TJ, OG,
and we're not extreme. Will
hold on, Connor. You are very extreme. TJ is on the other side of the spectrum.
You are extreme, bro. I just hate Spurs. I hate Spurs. I'll be honest with Stella. I hate you guys.
That's fine, but
that's how it should be.
The feeling is mutual. Not you personally, but you as a team.
Not you personally, of course.
But your hate.
I hate you guys.
Blinds you from reality.
You guys. I hate the club. I've always thought you guys are, if I can define it, you guys are, only
get it off your chest. Let it out. Get it out.
No,
just
you guys, the Americans on this panel will get it. You guys are the Michigan of football clubs, which is you've never won that much or anything, and when you have, it's been ages ago. But you act like you're some.
We were the fifth most successful English club before money came into the sport.
Huh? Sorry.
We were the fifth most successful English club before money bought Man City and Chelsea. But go on.
Before money bought Man City and Chelsea, you're talking about.
Say it to yourself 2 or 3 times, yeah. Buy yourself time to think of an answer.
20 years ago, still. You haven't won a league title since before the fucking moonlight.
Yeah, but before the Premier League began and money took over, we'd won more FA Cups than Arsenal, more European Cups than Arsenal, more Carabao Cups than Arsenal. So we were pretty much level with you. Okay. You were ahead of us on league titles, but once money came in, we lost our way. We lost our way as a club.
Still have more European trophies than you.
Still have more European trophies
and Carabao Cups.
Okay, if we win, if we win one Champions League, that record is obsolete then.
Well, no. If you win the Champions League, that puts you at a different level altogether because you've never won.
Now,
So-
then you could be level with Hamburg and Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Anyway,
I mean,
listen, the
Hamburg-
game's over. It's happened. We spent 44 minutes on something I didn't even think we were going to talk about. But there you
We
go.
always do this, and it's always my fault. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It's good content.
Thank you to Henry Fong for a 5-month channel member. Henry also says, Henry Fong says, look at the picture. He says, on his prediction from everyone for tomorrow's game, we're gonna go through the predictions now, Henry. So don't you worry. Wolves F1, big up to you. Says Tottenham Way panel and chat, big up to you. Della Spurs. Remember when Arsenal drew 1-1 at Man City in the cup last season? It became the runaway for Arsenal. Yeah, Will Stewart just covered that. Thank you for the super chat to Della Spurs. And by the way, big up to Della Spurs, who was on the football terrace earlier on, and he rattled Terry, and Terry put the comment up saying, because Della Spurs said, Terry, you just hate Spurs. that was pretty funny. Anyway, right. There is a Premier League, believe it or not, this weekend. The games we've got this weekend are as follows. We've got Villa versus Brighton, the early kickoff, Man United Palace, Newcastle Burnley, Wolves Man City, Bournemouth Arsenal, West Ham Sheffield, Everton Luton, Tottenham Liverpool, Forest Brentford, Fulham Chelsea. Let's go through the main games, starting off with Villa versus Brighton.
Game.
It's a really good game.
Aston Villa versus Brighton. Two teams in good form. In fact, in the table, I think I'm right in saying they're pretty close to each other. Brighton are third, Villa is 6, and they're separated by 3 points. So, yeah, this is a massive game for both. Listen, two really good managers, two different styles of football, a lot of good players at both teams, both off to a good start this season, both fighting for a place in Europe again, maybe even knocking on the door of top 4. Both are in Europe as well, playing European football. I mean, who wants to go first? This could go any which way you like. Go for it, Murray. We'll go around.
The game of the weekend, everybody's talking about, yes, Spurs and Liverpool, but they doing this game a disservice. This is a good game. Villa versus Brighton. I have Villa as one of my dark horse teams to finish in the top 5. Yes, I said it. And this is two contrasting styles. The Zerbi and Emery teams are going at it. It's at Villa. I see Villa pulling this out in a 2-1 game. I think this is going to be really, really entertaining game. I'm actually excited to see this game to start the day, before we play Liverpool. I think this game is not getting a lot of traction because if it was any other week, it will probably be the highlight game of the week. And so I think Villa is going to it seems like Brighton goes good performance, the bad, good performance, good. Sometimes I look at the patterns of the forms of the teams that are coming in. I think Villa is at home or is going to pull it out. I think they're going to win 2-1 over Brighton. This is a good game.
To be fair, Mari, Villa's form is loss, win, loss, win.
It's very up and down this year.
Win, loss. So it is up and down. Both teams are up and down.
They win the next game.
But hold on, Steve. In the Premier League, it's win, win, loss, win, win. So they've won 5 lost in the Premier League.
All comps. I was saying all comps.
Yeah. Well, okay, but so my counter to that is in the Premier League, they're very consistent.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
And Brighton in the Premier League, exactly the same. Exactly the same. Win, loss, win, win, win.
Yeah.
I was just say
it's these two teams that really makes the Premier League really the best league by far in the world.
I don't think it's by far, but
Syria is there. I want to put Syria is there, but because you now have the Aston Villas, you have the Brighton, and now they're getting the money. I'll just throw this in there. Premier League is looking to combine with the Football League for a new TV contract outside of England in 2028. Thus meaning those clubs in the league, the Football League, in the championship, they're going to be making big money, more money than the La Liga TV contract. So now you're gonna have more Aston Villas, you're gonna have more Brightons, competing because of the money that's coming in from the TV contract. They just reported it today that the Premier League and the Championship are going together as a package for the next TV contract.
But Mamari, that's the problem, and you can blame the Premier League for the change of format in the Champions League. The change of format in the Champions League is a blowjob to all the other leagues because they know. Sorry, that was a bit graphic. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It's
say what you want. This show's already.
I'm not talking about Champions League. I'm talking about the Championship. You talk about the Championship.
But going back to your point, which is completely true about the teams that are getting promoted will get more money than most La Liga teams. That's why, sadly, the Champions League has changed its format so it can accommodate more teams and in that way generate more revenue for the non-Premier League teams. That's the main reason why they've actually done that, because of the actual threat of the Super League. Because if this continues where Norwich City are going to make more money than Sevilla or Athletic Bilbao, what's the point? There's already a Super League per se. So that for me is the biggest issue that they're going to need to try and solve. I mean, they're trying. La Liga, I watched La Liga recently, and they're really trying to kind of commercialize it. They have like cameras inside the dressing room. They have 4K cameras on the pitch. Like they're really trying to kind of improve the
the presentation is beautiful for La Liga.
Yeah, it really is. They're really
beautiful.
trying.
It's on ESPN Plus. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they're really trying.
What's your thoughts on Brighton and Aston Villa though?
Are you talking to me still?
Yeah.
If you guys look at the recent history, and you guys know I've said this before, Aston Villa is my second team. I have a big soft spot for them. Villa always beat Brighton. They have a really good record, and I think Villa are going to beat them because Villa's strengths are Brighton's weaknesses, which is Villa's plays on the counter attack, and Brighton sometimes struggles with teams. And Emery's a really good coach. I really rate him as a coach. So yeah,
What's your prediction?
2-1 Villa. I think
2-1 Aston Villa. Let's go to Matt. Matt, Villa. Well, you've got a soft spot for Villa, haven't you? You live nearby.
No, if I have to pick a team in the Midlands, I would lean towards Birmingham than Villa, as a soft spot. But I've just got a sneaky feeling. I think they both rested players in the week. I've just got a sneaky feeling for Brighton. I think Lewis Dunk, if I'm memory serves me right, I don't think Lewis Dunk played in the week, who's a big kind of organizer of the defense. So I've just got a sneaky feeling 2-1 Brighton. Wow. Yeah, I've just got a sneaky feeling. I'm going to go Brighton 2-1.
Brighton 2-1. Steve, how are you feeling about this game?
Yeah, it's going to be a really good one. I mean, the thing is, it's like Diaby versus Mitoma, Edro versus Watkins, March versus Zaniol. You've got so many good players. That both midfields look nice with Gilmore, Dahoud. You've got Boubacar Kamara, who I think is an unreal player. Douglas Luiz is hard as nails. Gets about the pitch, tackles. Bro, they got a lot of good players. Matty Cash at right back. He could play off, right wing too. He could score goals, defends well. Estupinian, like there are a lot of good players, and Villa are kind of more they have a style of play, but they in certain games they will specifically exploit one the team's weakness. They will play into that compared to a team that just plays away against everyone. So, I think Brighton will probably have more of the ball. They like to knock it around a lot, actually, in their own half. And that's where Watkins is going to come in. He could, steal the ball off McGinn, Zaniolo, Diaby, those kind of guys. So,
yeah.
Well, it's going to be a great game. I'll go.
Last year, Steve, if you remember, at Brighton, it was exactly the same as you described it. Brighton had all of the ball. Aston Villa, 2 counterattacks, 2 goals.
Pressed
they won 2-1.
Yeah.
Exactly how Steve described it. So Villa have a really good record, and Emery, he's famous for this. He always plays in accordance to the opponent's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
He will adapt. He will know that Villa aren't going to try and out Brighton with the ball. They're going to wait for them, and then they're going to pounce. And that's why I think, and Villa have the players to really. John McGinn is amazing in transition specifically. Yeah. So I think that they have all the tools to hurt them.
What's your prediction, Steve?
I'll go for 2-2.
2-2 still draw.
I'm looking at the odds. It's like literally dead even. It's I think it's 150, 160. So it's only 5 away from 155. It's almost a straight up pick 'em.
Yeah, both teams are even.
Yeah. So
Rathish, how do you feel about this game?
I think tomorrow is going to be a fantastic game for a neutral. I think two brilliant managers. I think De Zerbi, we know how his teams play for. Same with Unai Emery. I think the good thing with Unai is that he has a solid home form, like in clubs that he's managed, whether it's Aston Villa, Arsenal, PSG. Yeah. But I'm gonna agree with Steve. I think I'm going for a 2-2 as well. I think there's gonna be goals in this team. It's gonna be goals from both sides really. I think I've got a lot of Villa players. I've got a mixture of Brighton and Villa players in my FPL team. So Mitoma, Watkins, Estupiñán, Cash. I mean, that's the thing. It's quality across both sides. So I'm going for 2-2.
Another draw. Will, what's your thinking?
Arsenal Brighton or Villa Brighton?
I'm thinking about Arsenal.
Will doesn't know where he is.
Obsessing.
No, I just had a phone call, so that's why I went off camera for a while.
Aston Villa Brighton.
Brighton's gonna win. It's gonna be 3-1, 3-0.
3-0?
Brighton Brighton are on a different level right now. I'm telling you right now. The way De Zerbi's got these guys playing the attack. This is a problem with being a stat guys. You don't get to have just imaginary opinions. You have to go by what the numbers say, and the number of chances that Brighton are creating game in, game out is just insane. Higher than Man City right now.
You know where Brighton can get.
Brighton is the highest scoring team in the Premier League at the moment.
Not only the high score, but you're talking about chances that they're creating from open play. It's just insane, dude. The amount
everywhere, and it don't matter the lineup.
Yeah.
It seems like it don't matter the lineup. Their depth is actually probably the second best in the city.
But guys, aren't Brighton the clear example of how stats can sometimes be misleading?
No. In the past they have been, like when they played under Fraud Potter and they were getting the highest XG in the league.
But they still created a ton of chances. Fraud. They still created a ton of chances with him. They still did.
Arteta's big brother, Fraud Potter. When they had him, yes, but right now I'm not basing this off XG at all. I'm talking about actual chances that they're creating, key passes into the final third, shots from inside the box, all of the actual data that actually lets you make good decisions on how teams are playing. They are right now just insane. In fact, I think they're playing better than we are now.
So how did they lose that? What was it? The Europa League game.
That was crazy.
Yeah. It happens. It's football.
Crazy, man. That was a crazy.
But if you watch that game, yes, they had a lot of shots, but the way Ajax played was brilliant. They they played exactly the perfect way. They targeted Brighton on the wings when they push up in the space, and they complete. That was a tactical masterclass.
Aston Villa lost their Europa Conference League game as well.
Legia Warszawa, yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Mucci was on small.
Can I say as well, right? This game, just to add a bit of spice to it, both teams are playing on Thursday night. Brighton have got a very difficult game away to Marseille. Like Spurs went to Marseille last season. That's no joke. Their fans are hostile.
No,
they're not a bad team. They're not great. They're not a bad team. And Aston Villa, they've got a tie in the Conference League, which is easier. And then a few days later, Brighton have got Liverpool, and Aston Villa have got Wolves. So this is are they going to have part of their mindset on the next couple of games coming up as well? Because
I don't know. It's the only team that Brighton haven't pumped so far is West Ham. and they've pumped every other team that they've played.
Well, they did. They had 83% possession. They had a ton of shots in that game, but West Ham pulled the ultimate. They had 3 counterattacks, West Ham, and destroyed them.
That's what I'm saying.
They were clinical with their finishing.
They were lethal. So, like, that's my point. That's why.
So, what makes you think Villa, who struggled?
They're exactly like West Ham, though. They have lethal forwards. They have Diaby, they have Watkins, and they're super fast in transition. And not only that, they have a midfielder in McGinn who can transition and run with the ball exactly towards the weakness of Brighton. That's why
I think it's gonna be an easy 3-1 for Brighton.
I'm
Easy
Yeah.
at Villa.
When was the last time that Villa got pumped like that at Villa Park? Though it's
Tomorrow.
The last
I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't happen. It could.
When's the last time? Tomorrow.
I could see Villa winning. I could see Villa winning.
The last
too.
Here's a really good stat for you guys. The last loss Villa have had at home was Arsenal in the last minute, where we barely beat them.
Was that 4-2 or something?
4-2, yeah. That's last season in, I think, end of March. So Villa's home record, Will, is formidable, and Villa have beaten Brighton the last 2 times they've played. So Villa have a good record against them.
But the only 2 teams that they've played at home this season are Crystal Palace and Everton. And Crystal Palace can't score a goal to save their life right now, and Everton's Everton.
Yeah, but Will, they drew at home with Man City last season.
Yes.
That won the treble.
Yeah, they got pumped by Liverpool. They got pumped by Newcastle. And that was early Newcastle too.
Will, they destroyed us at Villa Park last year. That was our worst.
Yeah, but I'm talking about at Villa Park. I'm talking about this season, right? Because look,
this season.
There is the thing. There is such a home field advantage is real, right? But but the rest of the stuff, games are independent events, right?
Right.
While history can add to a player's mentality, it doesn't matter at all on what actually will or won't happen on the pitch. The fact that we haven't beaten Liverpool in our new stadium doesn't mean we're going to lose tomorrow, right? Those are gamblers' fallacies. Those are dumb, right? It's like just because the roulette wheel fell on 7 times doesn't mean it's going to do it on the 8th, right? Like it's completely independent statistical events. Okay.
But yes, in terms of stats, you're right. But when it comes to the player mentality, like Frank Lampard he had an interview where they asked him, like, how does Chelsea have such a good record at White Hart Lane? And Frank Lampard would say, because the players had the mentality, like they called it 3-point lane, because they had that mentality where we always show up here, we always play well. Arsenal, for example, have a terrible record.
Poch beat Chelsea 2 or 3 times at White Hart Lane. Mourinho beat Chelsea in White Hart Lane. Mourinho knocked them out of the cup.
I'm talking about. Okay, don't get touchy.
I'm not getting touchy. You're talking rubbish. The reason Lampard said that was because he was in one of the best Chelsea teams in the history of that club. They were a phenomenal team. We were never good in those days.
It's a wind-up thing anyway, too, right? But listen. But my point is that the reason why they won those games wasn't because it was at White Hart Lane. That's not the reason, right? Correlation doesn't equal causation. The reason why they won those games is because they had a better team and they had a better mentality. That's why they won the game. The location is irrelevant. It could have been there. It could have been anywhere. When the circumstances of an event come together, the circumstances are what causes the action or the event of the game. When you have a better team, when you're playing a certain way, and when you look at the way Brighton is playing right now, and the amount of chances that they're creating, the amount of ball possession that they have, the number of shots that they're taking and converting, and then you do the same thing for Aston Villa. I don't see Aston Villa getting a result out of this. And it's the exact same reason why I knew we would get a result at the Emirates. Regardless of if it's the Emirates or whatever, the way we're playing right now, if you look at it, if you look at chances created, we are up there. It's Brighton, City, Spurs. Those are the top 3 creating teams in the league right now. Fact. You can hate it, you can like it or not, whatever. It just is what it is. And the fact that we're playing that way right now is what gives me confidence that we can go. That's why I think, not because Liverpool is necessarily a bigger club or a better club or a tougher team. The reason why I think Liverpool is going to be a harder result for us over than the one that we played last weekend is because the way Liverpool's been playing for the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Right? They have been creating almost as many chances of us. They have been, to our benefit, making more errors than us. But if we give them,
Well,
if
we're
we
gonna
make
come
those
on to
same
Liverpool,
errors
Dave.
against
We're gonna
Liverpool,
come
they
on
will
to
punish us where you can't because their quality in their front line is light years higher than yours.
Let's save that because we're going to come to Liverpool game.
Yeah.
So the panel's split. Some people think Villa, some people think Brighton. I agree with Rathish. I think. Did you say a draw, Rathish?
Yeah,
Just
me
two.
too, and Steve. Yeah, Steve as well.
Yeah, I agree with you guys.
Desmond.
I think 2-2 as well.
Desmond.
The next game I want to look at. I wasn't going to look at this. It was Man United Palace, but I think we need to look at Man United Palace. The reason is, I'll tell you why.
Aaron Bat.
One, Aaron Bat has arrived. Two, Martinez is out for 3 months now. So we're looking at a Harry Maguire return or Delot at the back, or I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, but he's been awful still.
One second, Stefan. One second. You'll have your chance to speak. Don't worry. So, Man United, there's a bit of hope amongst their fans because they had a good win against Crystal Palace midweek. But Palace rested a lot of players. They literally bent over and said, "Have the game." Right? Palace gave them the game. Palace aren't going to do that this Sunday. And Man United might be walking into this game with a little bit of false sense of security. Now, when you look at the table, Man United are 9th, 9 points. Crystal Palace are 10th, 8 points. So it's a mid-table clash. They're both in similar form. I don't think this is oh, sorry guys. There's a table. I don't think that this is a given. I don't think Man United just walk this.
No. Yeah, that Martinez injury is pretty bad.
He's out for 3 months.
They had positive news with Aaron Bat, finally, coming in and playing. And it's just, okay, all right, him and Casemiro do business. But in injury, Reggie being out, because they were saying, okay, Reggie's the best thing.
Oh yeah, Reguilon's out. I forgot he's even.
Yeah,
they like him. Man United fans like Reggie.
They love him. Some even say they should sign him.
Yeah.
Look, we have good players. That's the level Man United's at right now. Our trash is their gold. That's how it is.
They're taking the third
the Spurs B team doing bits.
They want Højbjerg too.
That is how far Man United have fallen.
My thing about Crystal Palace is just they frustrate me. Whenever I see Crystal Palace play, they frustrate me. Not like I care, but it's a team that I don't know. I feel that they should do better. I know they had that period last season with Vieira.
They were going to get relegated,
and then this year, they got some good players on their team. It's just I don't know, man. They can never have consistent form, and for me, I just think they don't score enough goals to my liking, to beat United. I'm gonna say this is a draw, 1-1. I think
this is 0-0.
Or it could be 0-0. Yeah, I'm being nice.
They always beat Palace, man, especially at home. Palace, they rarely I'm shocked.
Yeah, but this United team, if they didn't get the injuries, I would have said something different. But now I'm thinking, okay, they got a leak to go. If Martinez didn't get injured, I would say, okay, 1-0 United. Now I think they're really vulnerable to leak a goal because I currently see Crystal Palace scoring 1 goal.
Really?
1 goal. Stefan, what's your thoughts on it? By the way, everyone watching, please smash the like button. There's 200 people watching, only 60 likes. Give us a like. Show your love to the panel.
Support the channel, guys. Support the channel.
Support the channel. Yeah, Stefan, what's your thinking?
Man, it's just crap teams playing against each other. This is this game. Yeah, this is what it is now. But no, in terms of, for me, I'm a bit different to Will. I don't just look at the stats always. There's a psychological effect. Like Crystal Palace rarely win at Old Trafford, even when Man United are, just terrible.
So what's the difference when they do though?
They have one. I remember. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago where they beat them 3-1. I think it was at the start of the season. I remember Zaha scoring.
So what was the difference then?
I just think, for example, it not only does it affect the opposition, it also affects Man United in a positive way. So Man United play better at home than they do. So I just think that's why. But that's my opinion. I agree with you about the actual stats that it doesn't, that shouldn't be taken into account. But for me, I'm looking at this game and I see Crystal Palace can't score goals. And Mari's point to they're frustrating. This notion that Crystal Palace can be better is, I think, it's just a myth, because of the fact that they've had two coaches that tried to teach them how to play, let's say, more progressive football, and Frank de Boer and Patrick Vieira. And it was an unmitigated disaster in which, if those two coaches had continued, they would have been relegated. Like, if Patrick Vieira had stayed, they would have gotten relegated probably. So they just don't have the players. And Crystal Palace is, I think, that team that every person likes, because they have, like, I would call them street footballers, like super skillful football players that are maybe too flawed to play for the top teams. Like Eze looks amazing on the ball. Off the ball, disaster. Doesn't track back, doesn't tackle, doesn't try whatsoever. So that's why he plays for Palace and doesn't play for a Man City or an Arsenal or a Liverpool. So for me, I think this game is going to be the typical crap Man United performance. It's going to be 0-0.
You got Havertz, bro. Like, you can't be made. The reason why Eze doesn't play for Arsenal is because he doesn't do all the things that Havertz doesn't do, and you have Havertz who's worse than Eze. Like, I would take Eze in a heartbeat, bro.
Same. How do you know what if Eze is instructed? You don't.
Or maybe he just doesn't have good instructions. Maybe he plays for a horrible manager.
Okay. That's my opinion. I've watched him off the ball. He doesn't try. He doesn't track back. He's off.
What if he's instructed to do that, though? Or what if he's crap instructed?
Steve, he is instructed not to try and press and tackle and to track his runner.
Sometimes people are told not to press. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, conserve your energy for.
Conte doesn't instruct players to press.
Well, the example that Will gave, Kai Havertz, for all his deficiencies, in terms of his off the ball defensive stats, he's really good.
That doesn't have any effect on the game at all.
It doesn't have any effect on the game.
It has a little bit of an effect on the game, but it's
how big? How big? From 1 to 10, I'll give you 2.
Oh my!
Okay. 2 out of 10.
Okay, Steve, we're gonna disagree here, but in terms of what I've watched, Eze reminds me a lot of Zaha, which is, he is supremely talented, just like Olise is exactly the same. They're both supremely talented, but when you watch them try and track back and run and try and defend, they're poor. Zaha is one great example, and that's why Zaha, in my opinion, had easily the ability to play for Man City, for Liverpool, easily. He's an exceptional talent, but as an attitude and mentality, he's dog shit. He is.
No, he just wanted to be the man, and he wasn't going to get to be the man at the bigger clubs, and so he stayed at the middle club.
No.
Some people just like being a big fish in a small pond, man.
The reason why he never moved to the clubs is he made the same mistake as Harry Kane. He signed a massive, I think it was a 6-year deal at the same time when Harry Kane signed it, and Crystal Palace had all the leverage, and they wanted 70 to 80 million because he was one of the top players in the Premier League, and no team, including Arsenal, when we were interested in him, wanted to pay that amount of money. So that's why, for me, Eze is very similar. Is he talented? Yes. Can he move to a bigger club? Yes. Can maybe somebody coach him to be better off the ball? Of course they can.
Yeah.
Of course they can. But right now, for me, that's the reason, in my opinion, as to why Crystal Palace look dysfunctional. It's because they have, as you know, in American sports, they call them luxury players. You know, they have players that can be great on the ball if you have the right players around them, but you need to accommodate their deficiencies. Ozil was very similar. Ozil was exactly that. Ozil, amazing on the ball, one of the best players in world football in terms of creating chances technically. Off the ball, it was a shit show. The guy didn't even try. He would start, moping and stuff. So that's my opinion as to why I just don't think Crystal Palace have the discipline and the players to go win at Old Trafford. So I'm going for a 1-0 Marcus Rashford counter-attack in the 80th minute, and it's a horrendous game.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Steve, how do you feel?
This game is not worth talking about at all. 1-0 Man United. 1-0 Man United. It's going to be the worst game of football across all top 5 European leagues. Next.
Yeah, it's completely.
Wow, it's quite deep. Lil, how do you feel about this game?
So for me, like, I mean, they just played in the Caribou Cup, but Manchester United pretty much played their first team, or at least their available team. I mean, they had a couple of youngsters up front, but for the most part, you know, it was Maguire, Varane, Amrabat, Dalot, right? Like all the people who are going to be fit for this weekend. But Crystal Palace rotated heavily. I mean, their whole back line was back. Their whole midfield was gone. Eze never even came in. Like it was. So I don't think that 3-0 at United that you saw in the cup is relevant to predicting the Premier League match. I think it's just going to be like a 0-0. I'm going 0-0.
0-0?
Yeah.
Wow.
That could happen, you know.
Is that
because
how much
you got
rate Man
Anderson
United, Will?
and Gooey or however you say his name. Gahey. Their defense is way better than Manchester United's right now. Way better. Anderson is probably the best defender in the league right now.
I've always wanted Anderson. I've been a fan of Anderson since he was at Lyon.
We've been linked with him a couple of years ago. Anderson.
He's solid. So solid. He's my Fabian. He would be my Fabian Schär replacement once we move on.
Who do you think is better, Guehi or Anderson? I think
Anderson.
I think Guehi's much better.
I think Anderson benefits from the partnership that he has with Guehi, right? Like that's a thing. That's a real thing. Center back partnerships, right? Like Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld together were far better than they were apart, right? Yeah. But
I don't know. I honestly, if you guys are gonna say, I think Toby Alderweireld was a much better defender than Jan Vertonghen in my
defensively. Opinion. But if you're talking about a defender going forward, Jan Vertonghen, like Toby Alderweireld isn't driving down the field and scoring goals, right?
Yeah, but Jan
Vertonghen can do that.
Alderweireld was calm. He had he was great on the ball. He had a great pass. Like for me, Toby Alderweireld as a football player was much
diagonal
better.
pass, probably one of the best diagonal long balls in the game in his prime, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the partnership, that partnership together was better than its individual parts, right? Like you take Jan Vertonghen and you put him with Eric Dyer, it's not the same, right? They both look bad, right? Yeah. There's sometimes it's like the situation over at Newcastle, right? Me and Steve were talking about this statistically, who was better, which one of their center backs was better. I think that the reason, like, you can't say the reason why they had all those clean sheets last season was because of Botman, because when you pulled them apart from each other, they didn't get clean sheets, right? It was the fact that they played together, that the sum of their whole parts makes that partnership what it is, right? Both players excel when they play together. Some people just fit like that, you know, like peanut butter and jelly. It's just
but guys, don't you agree that, like, in my opinion, for example, Virgil van Dijk was so good that he made Matip, and especially for me, one of the worst defenders in the Premier League, in my opinion, in Joe Gomez. He made Joe Gomez look amazing. He made Joe Gomez look good. That's how good, in my opinion, Van Dijk was. So I think some defenders, I honestly think if you take out, because I watched Joachim Anderson when he was on loan at Fulham and they went down. He was a disaster. And I know that team was terrible, but he was also terrible. And I think Guehi makes him better than he looks because he allows Joachim Anderson to make those diagonal balls that he's good at. But the more I watch, the more I've watched Joachim Anderson, he's reckless. He's a bit of an idiot. He makes stupid like tackles and decisions. He's rash, and I just think Guehi is.
All center backs do that. I mean, Gabriel does the same thing for you guys, right? Out of your two pairing, Gabriel's the more rash out of the two,
that's not
right?
True. Well, Gabriel.
It is. Who's got more red cards, dude?
No, it's not.
Who has more red cards, Gabriel or Romero, bro?
Okay, Gabriel has made less mistakes than Saliba.
That's what I'm saying. Gabriel, in your partnership, Gabriel is the more rash of the two.
How can he be more rash if he makes less mistakes than Saliba?
He doesn't make less mistakes.
Go and check that. Errors, 2 chances, or 2 goals. Saliba has made more mistakes than Gabriel. Go and check.
Talking about being rash in defense, right? Tackling, right? Discipline, yellow cards, red cards.
Saliba has more yellow cards than Gabriel. I'm pretty sure. I need to check that. This rashness about Gabriel is a complete myth.
All right, let me go to Matt. Matt, let's get your opinion on this. Otherwise, we're going to end up arguing about Saliba and Romero for the next 20 minutes. Man United, Crystal Palace.
I think I'm agreeing with Will, but I think it will be a score draw. I think 1-1.
Everybody's down on Man United, man. Wow.
They're really bad right now. They got a ton of injuries.
They're terrible. Don't get me wrong, but to not be able to beat Crystal Palace at home, like, wow, guys. Wow. Okay.
1-1.
1-1. Rathish, what's your thoughts?
I think it's definitely going to be low scoring because it's an interesting one with Man United because this season they've been very flattering to deceive. I mean, they did win in midweek, which gives them some confidence, but their league form has been pretty horrendous. I feel so many players not performing, like Marcus Rashford not pulling his weight, Bruno Fernandes not pulling his weight. So in that aspect, I mean, I think with Eric Ten Hag, I mean, there's been a split of opinions in the sense that half of the United fans want him to stay and the other half want him to go, like, because in recent times they're not playing some good football. So I think it's, as far as tomorrow is concerned, I think they'll win, but it will definitely by the odd goal. So it's going to be like 1-0 or 2-1. I think on Crystal Palace, like, Roy Hodgson is the sort of manager that is steady good shoes, if that makes sense. Like, he doesn't play extravagant football. Like, his teams, like, they're hard to beat. Like, they put men behind the ball but counter it at the same time. So that's the way I see it. Yeah.
I'm going to go for a Man United win. I think they're going to beat Palace 2-0. I don't think it's going to be a great game, but I just think Man United are going to get a win. I've just got that feeling they're going to pull something out the bag. Palace, I don't know. At Man United,
they're awful. They're awful.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. The next game we're going to go for is... Let me get up the... what have I done here? Here we go. So the next game... listen, we're not going to discuss it. I wasn't even going to look at it, but just out of respect for Steve being on the show, Newcastle, Burnley. Steve, you can have your say and then we'll move on because it's not a big game this weekend, that's all.
It's a huge game, man. It's a huge game.
Well, I mean, bro, I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means.
What?
I think I don't. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I'm a bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, because not many teams will actually try and play football against.
But they will. But they will against you guys.
Yes, and they could score. That's the problem. We've had such a dreamland-like week. 8-0 win, 1-0 Man City, clean sheet at AC Milan, beat Brentford 1-0. Like, everything's going way too well. And for me, this is the most Newcastle thing ever. If we get like a draw or if it's like, a hook or crook, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I really don't. I said this about a Sheffield game and I was wrong, but I don't know. Burnley will try to play football against us, and they might take an answer or two.
But Steve, Burnley have played 5 games, lost all 4, drawn 1. They've got -9 goals, goal difference. They've conceded 13. They've only scored 4 goals all season and 1 point. They're abysmal. They're absolutely abysmal. How can you
they're eventually going to win a game. They're eventually going to
Newcastle against you guys.
It could be. Stell, I'm too used to this stuff, dude. I'm too used to this stuff. Let's not also ignore the fact that last year at home, we had some draws that were like, what? Drew with Leeds, Bournemouth, Palace on 3 different occasions.
But aren't you a better team now? You've made some good signings. Your players
but Burnley will try to play football against us. And I feel like with the Champions League game also on, I think it's Wednesday, I believe, we have Paris Saint-Germain coming to St. James Park. I feel like there might be a bit of, I don't know, a bit. I feel like there might be a bit of a side eye thing going on, being like, oh, we got them. And,
So this is a trap game.
Yes. I think so. They will try to play football against us.
Where's the game? It's at Newcastle? Oh.
No, I think you guys went 4-1.
I hope so. I hope so. Dude, I'm too used to something goes wrong for Newcastle.
4-0.
Newcastle's been leaking more goals than they have in the past.
Burnley.
I mean, we have 4 straight clean sheets, Will. But
no, but here's the problem with Burnley.
You're saying this year compared to last year, you've leaking more goals.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Newcastle looked defensively much weaker than last year. That is.
I mean, not the past 4 games. We've been pretty good the past 4 games.
I don't count cup competitions because it's a completely different beast, right?
Wait, Steve. Let's be honest. Milan should have been 2-3-0 up.
Of course. Oh my
that
god!
Wasn't that 0-0? That 0-0 wasn't exceptional defending. Like that wasn't the reason.
We dug in the second half and made it hard for them. But I agree, bro. We should have lost that game 3 or 4-0.
Like that's what I'm saying. You can't count. Cup competitions are completely different. They're managed different. They're thought different. They're played different. Like this is what I'm saying. Like everybody acts
we
like
conceded 8 to Man City. I couldn't say, wow, our defense.
But everybody pretends like, you know, Conte at the end of his thing before he left Spurs was like in some giant, huge decline when he wasn't. We had 3 wins and 2 draws in his last 5 games in the league before he left, right? So we weren't on this huge run of form. We went out in the Champions League and had a bad cup game, but that was it, right? Those were the only 2 bad games in that whole in the last 5 games of Conte in the league where actually the results weren't bad. We were getting good results in the league, and even in previous cup competitions when we went out and did stupid things, we would come back in the league and get a good result, right? So, and as a coach too, you coach those games. Your technique, your strategy is completely different from a cup game to a league game. It's just a completely different beast. And people, when they try to chain those together, it's an absolute fallacy. So
I don't think it's a fallacy.
Yeah, look at PS. That's the whole. Yeah, it's an absolute fallacy. Arsenal fans thought they were going to pump us because they pumped PSV 4-0 in a cup competition. That was their whole rationale.
Yeah.
Look how that went.
But keeping a clean sheet, consistent. I just said 4 games where we've kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, but
that
you're not
was
playing
Arsenal's best performance this.
Keeping a clean sheet against a city rotated city team.
Steve, they keep harping on about a draw. That was Arsenal's worst performance of the season, and Spurs' best performance.
You kept a clean sheet with. Did you? Okay, this is the thing that's really odd. People are saying that Man City rotated. So did we. We had Paul Dummett.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So the team that comes out and plays that it's been leaking goals, right? It's different. You can't.
We haven't been leaking
can't say
goals
because we kept a clean sheet last week, we'll keep a clean sheet this week. Okay. No, you have to look at your play over the entire season.
I think we'll win 2-1 late, like 90.
No, but Steve, you haven't been leaking goals, but can you agree that you've been leaking chances?
Yes. Yes,
much more.
Guys, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump in here. Right, the whole world knows that Newcastle's gonna beat Burnley, so let's just move on.
They'll win comfortably.
Steve,
it's like 4-1.
I'm a bit nervous.
Maybe 4-2.
You're allowed to be nervous. It's normal.
3-0.
There's 3 more
the
games.
Best league in the world, apparently. So I gotta look at everyone like.
Anything's possible, man. Anything. You never know, right? There's 3 more games I want to get through because this is only going to be a 2-hour show max. The next one, so Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Now, this is an interesting game because under any other circumstance, you would say easy win for Arsenal, right? Easy, but
tell me the but.
Well, if you shut your mouth,
injured.
Keep your mouth shut more than 10 seconds. Right? The reason why this is interesting, and I heard some good conversation today on the radio as well about it. Arsenal obviously disappointed they didn't get the North London derby on Sunday. They went into the midweek game, got a good result away at Brentford to go to the next round of the Carabao Cup, so confidence is back. However, Arteta today said that both Saka and Declan Rice haven't trained this week. Mm-hmm. We don't know which players are going to be injured or returning from injury.
Saliba's injured too.
Might have taken a knock. So, under any other circumstances, you would say Arsenal are going to battle Bournemouth. I still think, personally, Arsenal will win. But what I will say is this. With the injuries Arsenal have got, pressure is now mounting on them to make sure they get a result in this game. If Bournemouth were to get an early lead and Arsenal were to struggle to score, I think this could potentially be a banana skin for Arsenal. Only because of the injury situation. I still think Arsenal will win, by the way, but how does everyone else feel? I'm going to start from the bottom up because it's the same order all the time. Let's mix it up. Rathish, how do you see this one? Do you think Arsenal are guaranteed this one, or is this a bit of a slippery game for them?
I think, like you said, they are crippled with injuries. But sometimes when you have that amount of injuries, as a good team, you have to find a way to adapt. It's not just an Arsenal thing. It can happen to any team. Like Man City, for instance. Man City have KDB injured. Rodri's going to miss the next 3 games. Bernardo Silva's out. John Stones, etc., etc. But they keep finding a way to get results. And I think that's the thing with Arsenal, is finding the balance. With Bournemouth, I mean, they do play some good football at times, even though results go against them. Like the 0-0 against Chelsea, they should have won that. Like, if it wasn't for Robert Sanchez's heroics in goal, Bournemouth could have won. You know, you talk about the margins in football. But either way, I think Arsenal, the pressure's going to be on for sure. I think they need to prove a point, because they can't afford to drop for even more points, because they've got Man City in 2 weeks from time. I mean, even with the injuries, I think they'll win for sure. I think the quality, what's going to carry them through.
They've got Champions League as well midweek, Rathish. They've got Champions League home game.
No. Lens absolutely dominated my French team, Strasbourg, today. Dominated. They are picking up form. Stefan, beware of Lens. I'm telling you right now.
It's away. It's away. Okay, yeah, it's away. So
it's away. So it's more difficult.
What's your thoughts on this game?
I don't think Arsenal are going to put in a breathtaking performance. They're going to get the 3 points, though, I'd assume. Probably like 2-0. Something like that.
2-0, yeah. Will?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking at the Arsenal.com for their team news, right? It says basically Rice, Martinelli, Trossard are a question. Saka, Saliba, Vieira are in the pool of people who aren't available, who probably won't be available for selection. So
that's not true. Well,
it's at Arsenal.com, man. The questions marks around the availability of Bukayo Saka, who also came off during the derby. Mikel Arteta said that William Saliba and Fabio Vieira are in the same pool after missing Wednesday's game. I'm reading it from Arsenal.com, bro.
Just wait. Wait.
Okay. I just get
okay, Alex Jones.
This is why I cannot.
I've muted you because you just don't listen.
But anyway, so if that's the case, if it's the case that all of these players don't start against Bournemouth, I see it being like a 1-1 draw.
Yep.
I just don't think that if you're having Nelson, Gabriel Jesus, and Nketiah up front, you're maybe get lucky to get a goal.
Find me one statistic, because you said you're the stat guy, and that's why you predicted the what's it called, the thingy earlier. Brighton Villa. You said statistically Brighton. Okay. How? What stat? What stat is out there that suggests 1-1? What stat out there?
What's that out there suggests 1-1? The fact that Arsenal's goal creation is mid-table this season, like worse than yours.
What? Okay, so what about Bournemouth?
And that's with their starters. Stats. That's with their starters. So they're key passing, they're non-penalty XG plus AG, they're all that stuff.
We're shit.
So if Arsenal played Wrexham tomorrow away, because and let's say
no, it's Wrexham. It's not Bournemouth. Bournemouth have scored goals against teams who can actually play and defend. Right? So, look, listen. Just because it's Bournemouth doesn't mean they're not going to score a goal. Arsenal have to score goals.
I just don't
they couldn't score a single goal against us all in 90 minutes.
They should have, though.
No, they shouldn't have.
Of course.
So they scored 1 goal against Liverpool, none against you guys. None against.
They should have scored 2 or 3 against Liverpool in the first 30 minutes at Anfield.
Right. Especially with the red card.
Scored against Liverpool.
I just don't know what that would lead you to 1-1.
Because Arsenal can't score and Bournemouth can. Arsenal are missing their 7 of their starting 11.
Did you West Ham?
I mean,
unless you ask Alex Jones up there in the top right, then they're not missing anybody.
Will's basing his assessment on the basis that there's going to be a lot of injuries for us.
Okay,
that's what I'm basing on. Matt, what's your thinking?
As much as I'd love Bournemouth to get a result,
I want them to win. So
obviously,
I don't think they'll win.
Yeah. As much as I'd love Bournemouth, prove me wrong, Bournemouth, pull one out the bag, but sadly, I'm going to go with 3-1 to Arsenal. As much as I hope I'm
who's
wrong.
Scoring? Nketiah? Nelson?
I think Asgard.
Odegaard?
Yeah,
Asgard.
yeah.
Did you hear? Did you hear what expressions called him today?
No shoulder guard. No
No
shoulder
shoulder
guard.
Like, big up X, man. He's too funny.
He's a class act. But,
It comes off the top too, like because you can tell. I've watched him on like I think I always thought that maybe on some of his streams it was like maybe scripted a little bit or practice, but I've seen him go on other people's streams like smaller channels like Fuaz or something like that, and it's like straight off the top of his
He's
head.
naturally gifted comedian. He's a genius. His
Wordplay
range
is amazing.
is hilarious.
He even get rivals teams laughing. Even when they try to banter him, he has them laughing because of what he says.
The only guy that I've seen kind of match him and be just as funny is the guy from the Man United channel. What's his name? KG or what's his name?
KG, yeah.
They're a double act. They're a double act.
Yeah, when they're together, all they do is just take the piss. Like he calls him Pumbaa from Lion King. That one killed me because he does kind of look like Pumbaa from Lion King. If you look at it,
Odor guard sounds like a deodorant from Poundland.
Asgard, yeah, for sure.
So, Stefan, tell us about Arsenal away to Bournemouth tomorrow.
No, I just really want to educate Will, in terms of right now. So
Educate Will.
So he can listen.
I'm listening.
Arteta is like, when it comes to injuries, he's like a hockey coach. He always lies. He said that Declan Rice, Saka, and stuff had not trained, and Saliba. They all traveled to Bournemouth. It's not sure that they're gonna start, but they're fit. They're fit to be at least on the bench. So they've all traveled. So Bukayo Saka, Saliba, Declan Rice have all traveled. And if I'm not mistaken, Fabio Vieira also. This is confirmed from people who are in Bournemouth.
He never said they're not fit. He said they haven't trained.
Yeah, they haven't trained, yes. But he also said that, they might not play the game. They have all
There's
traveled.
question marks around the availability. That's what he said.
Okay, but he has done this all the time where he
But why would you do the psyop tactics against Bournemouth, man? It's Bournemouth. Against City, I get it.
Will, that's who Arteta is. That's like his personality.
He thinks that through that tactically, that if he says that Trossard might play or Martinelli, this will create a different sort of tactical picture for the opposition. And it's very hockey-like. I don't like it personally. I wish he can be just honest.
No, I mean, Jose Mourinho does it all the time. He screwed him over my whole entire FPL season that year when he said Son was injured.
But this is Arteta. He's done this a lot last season. He did it 2 years ago where he consistently said, no, he's not going to be fit, or he's struggling for injury, and then he shows up and plays. So
he said the same thing against us, and neither of them showed up. So
he even made Thomas Partey so he can try and trick Man City last year. He was injured for that game that we lost at home 3-1. He even made him show up 1 hour late just so there can be kind of a confusion as to will Thomas Partey play or not. So this is what I mean. So I'm 100% sure from the sources, the legit sources from Arsenal, the most credible ones, they're saying Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice are fine. They're gonna play. Saliba is also fine from what. It's Martinelli and Trossard. Trossard should be fine for the Champions League game. Martinelli and Partey should be fine for Man City. So this game, we have a really good record against Bournemouth. They've never beaten us in the Premier League yet. I just think
2018 they beat you 2-1.
When?
Jordan Ibe, Callum Wilson goals. It was 2018. It was your lineup was Lacazette, Welbeck.
It probably wasn't in the league though.
No, it wasn't the league. It wasn't the league.
Are you sure
it was in the
league? Yeah, it was 2018 when Wenger was manager.
They beat us?
There's a 3-3 draw before that as well.
Yeah, 3-3. I remember the 3-3, but I don't remember. Okay, well,
the
we
2-1
record.
2-1. Callum Wilson scored, and then Jordan
wrong.
Ibe scored 4 minutes later. So 70-74. So Bournemouth had beaten them.
I was wrong. Okay, but I just think we play well against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I've watched him play against you guys and against Liverpool. They're very different from Gary O'Neill style. Last year they would play more counter-attacking with a low block. This year they play with a super high line. So I think they're going to give us a lot of chances. So
they countered us. They didn't play high line against us.
Yes, I mean, okay.
Well, that's because you imposed their game.
Yeah.
They only hit us on the counter. We had like 68% possession. That was one of our highest percentage possession-based games.
Exactly.
Well,
Postecoglou imposed his game on with the higher quality players.
I don't know. I don't watch Bournemouth, so you could be right. I'm just saying when they played us this year, they didn't play a high line.
Right.
They
I've
counterattacked
watched
it.
a few Bournemouth games. Yeah, they have. They play that.
Stefan, what's your prediction then? What's your prediction?
I'm gonna go for 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0.
I'm just gonna say, if those players, you better hope those players start, because if they don't, Mr. Alex Jones, I'm gonna roast you in the group chat. I'm just letting you know in advance.
Why are you gonna roast me?
For saying that those players are fit and will play.
I can start a YouTube channel about your 86-point prediction because it was that embarrassing.
Keep going, go. I've already. I don't know how many times I admit that I was wrong on that prediction.
No, Stefan, you can't dig up the L that Will already self-admittedly took.
You're not part of this, and stop just being on the side of just what
I wasn't on his side. I wasn't on Will's side or Spurs side when I said what freaking stat came up with 1-1. I was on Arsenal's side there
because it was a ridiculous take. The 1-1
exactly, and so when exactly, you understand me now.
And I'll make sure to hold you to account at the end of the season when Arsenal are never in a title run for your weird predictions in the preseason this year too. Go for it.
Don't worry. I know.
You want to hold my preseason prediction against me? I'm going to do it against you too.
I have a question for you. Right, I'm not saying this is going to happen because I'm actually predicting a 2-0 win for Arsenal as well. But just out of curiosity, if Will is right, okay, anything's possible in football. If Will is right, how are you going to feel about Arsenal if that happens? Just out of curiosity as a fan.
This is football, man. I'm gonna feel disappointed, angry. Like, of course, I'm gonna get roasted by Will. Yeah, no.
Forget the roasting. Will you question Arteta? Will you be concerned about the season?
No, I won't, because it's ridiculous how short-sighted people are and how
even though you've got a Champions League game straight afterwards and you've got Man City as well, wouldn't you be worried about that or not?
But here's I've told you guys this before about Arsenal fans. You guys have your toxic positivity merchants, which is
I'm asking about you.
We have our toxic negativity ones, which is if we don't win against Bournemouth, it's over. This and that, our season is done. And then if we beat Man City the week after, you're gonna have lead judges in Turkey say,
"You won't beat City.
We're back. You're
gonna get beat 3. You're gonna get beat 3-0 at your own house against City.
Do that next Friday. That's next Friday.
Well, the only prediction with a 100% success rate this year is Spurs are not gonna win any trophy. So that's
not 100%.
Same with Arsenal, Newcastle.
I'm not sure about
United in there. We're all big losers club.
I'm not sure about Arsenal. If we go through the League Cup, if we beat West Ham and go through the League Cup, knowing that Newcastle and Man United are gonna knock one of themselves out, I would say Arsenal can easily win.
If you finish top 4 this year and win the Carabao Cup, and that's all you do, will you be happy with that?
No, I wouldn't be. Still, I wouldn't be. I don't care about the League Cup. I really don't.
Did you watch the game against Brentford?
Yes, I was happy.
You said you don't care about it, but then you watched it? What do you mean?
Yeah, because I watch Arsenal games, but the tier of importance of where the League Cup is for me as an Arsenal fan is at the bottom. I want us to do well in the league and in the Champions League. I don't really give a shit about the League Cup.
But wouldn't you rather win that than nothing?
Steve.
No, on a genuine level, don't you think that would help Osaka and Odegaard?
Better than nothing.
No,
and Arteta, because
I don't think so.
They have no, Stefan, hear me out, bro. It's like I think it's very important for any team, and when they go win a trophy, that especially when you haven't won one in however many years or whatever. Same with Newcastle, it's been 50 odd years. It's very important, I think, bro, because then you get the winning feeling. Then you know that the guy that you're coaching and your manager can lead you to accomplish actually something that is a trophy that's tangible. You accomplish something as a squad.
Steve,
I think it's very important, right?
Steve, I completely agree with you. But I just think that for me, if you ask me, what would be a bigger accomplishment? Yes. Would I prefer to have a League Cup over no trophies? Of course. But I would prefer us to get to the semifinals of the Champions League than winning a League Cup, because that would show me that we're progressing as a club and that we're, because before, when we were in the Champions League, we would usually go out in the last round of 16 against the Barcelonas and stuff like that.
I think you'll be lucky to get a quarterfinal. So yeah, I could see that.
Isn't that, by the way, isn't that
semifinal.
something that you would absolutely hammer Spurs fans for saying? Isn't that something you would literally be like, oh, you made a semifinal, who cares? Oh, you made a final, who cares? You bottled it. Oh, you were challenging Leicester, who cares? Like, what? You would rather make a semifinal of a
we could win the Carabao Cup, and we could win the Carabao Cup, and every time they mention trophies, we say we won the Carabao Cup. I'm like, yeah, the Carabao Cup, wow, congratulations. It doesn't matter. It's all banter, right? Like the actual thing
it does matter.
Is irrelevant. Okay. No, just be quiet. Like, listen, if we won the Carabao Cup this year or next year or whatever, right? We're obviously we can't because we're out of it. We're taking the city path on that one.
Of course. Of course.
If we had won it, though, you guys aren't going to give us props because we won a Carabao Cup in the last 15 years. I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. Any conversation that came about trophies, we'd still get roasted. You'd still bring it up. You got yourself the energy drink, cup. Congratulations, bro. Look, we do it.
But wait.
FA Cup, Champions League. That's the only ones that matter. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, League Cup matters. 100%.
Don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Jose Mourinho said that final, that if you notice, almost every single dynasty is kicked off with the League Cup.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of them, and the managers all emphasize how important it is.
Again, correlation doesn't equal causation, my friends.
Exactly. No.
Chelsea's dynasty wasn't kicked off with a Carabao Cup.
Retish, sorry,
Cup.
go on. You were gonna.
No, you're cool, Steve. I was gonna say, like, in terms of Carabao Cup, a trophy is a trophy. Like, at least you were something to fall back on. Man City won 4 Carabao Cups in a row at one point because Pep took it seriously. Ten Hag,
or they're just that good.
Because he took it seriously. He had 2 equal squads. He had the deepest squad of any.
Or they're just that good.
Well, they lost to Southampton last year, so it clearly wasn't as easy as everybody's framing it to be.
It's a cup competition.
It's a cup. It's
they
a night.
can't win it every year. They won it 4 years in a row. Isn't that enough to show that they have the deepest and the best squad? Like, for me, it's not about and again, this is not taking context into it. Winning a League Cup for Arsenal compared to winning a League Cup right now for Newcastle or Spurs is not of the same importance.
100% agree.
Don't bring us. We've had them. Newcastle hasn't won a trophy in 30 years, right? So
you haven't won a trophy.
They need one.
But you haven't won a trophy in 15 years.
1,000%.
15 ain't 30, my man.
Okay, I know. I'm saying, but the value of you or Newcastle to a bigger degree compared to Arsenal of winning a League Cup.
No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit.
I give a shit about the League Cup massively.
Okay, we give a shit about the League Cup. No one gives a shit about whose importance it is to what. Amari, what's your prediction for Bournemouth Arsenal?
If those players don't play, and this is pending on the injuries, I think this is a banana peel game, 1-1. If they are playing, then it's 2-1. But I have 1-1. I'm going to go with the injury report, 1-1.
I cannot wait for the Spurs predictions. I really can't.
Stefan, you know what it is? Here's where I'm going to be on your side.
We're going to get on to the next one now. So the next game we're going to look at is, of course, the game, the other big game. Spurs are playing
Wolves, Man City.
Luton, Everton.
We're looking. Luton, Everton.
Don't worry about that.
I think Luton win that game, by the way.
Luton are going to end up as one of the worst ever Premier League sides.
Okay, that's fantastic. That's great. That's great. Brilliant. Right. So Liverpool, Tottenham at White Hart Lane. As it stands, Liverpool are second, Tottenham are fourth. 2 points separate them. They're both unbeaten in 5. The goal difference slightly better for Liverpool. In terms of goals against, Liverpool's better than Spurs. Goals for, exactly the same. So this is a super close game. You'd say Spurs have slightly got advantage because we're the home team, but at the same time, Liverpool's squad is better.
Can I go first? Can I go
They've
first?
been a bogey at our ground for the last 5 years,
You
right?
can go first. Mari, you can go first. Just one
I think
second.
Wembley was the last time that we beat them at home.
Guys, one second. Right. Liverpool, however, do have a midweek game, an easy one though, Union St. Gill, and then they've got Brighton away. So they do have a midweek game to think about before the international break. This traditionally has been a difficult game for Spurs, not because we don't show up, because Spurs show up in this game. We always show up in this game, and we give them one hell of a game. Always one of the most entertaining games of the season. The problem we at Spurs have always had is there's always some dumbass moment that happens. A Lucas
That's what I was about to get to.
Eric Dyer headed backwards. Maurice drops the ball in the goal in the 92nd minute. You know,
It's a Soko handball in the first 2 minutes.
Mari, Stefan, no, Mari, right. Dude, we're going into this game in great form. Liverpool are also in great form. This is anyone's, in my opinion. I think substitutions will make the difference if any team's forced into it, especially for us. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow? This is going to be one hell of a game, I think.
Mari, sorry, telling myself.
Introduce yourself.
I just introduced myself. Rams, this guy named Rams was a Liverpool content creator, and I was listening to him this morning, and I just loved he break it down like within the last 5 years. And you know, Spurs Liverpool has always been in the game.
Close game.
He has always been in the game, but like still has says mistakes like the Eric Dyer one last year, just stupid mistakes. Like even in games where Liverpool's up 2-0, 3-0, we have always come back. So the notion where in the last couple of years that Liverpool has obliterated us has actually been entertaining games. Even at Anfield, it has been entertaining games.
Yeah, they've always been close.
Yeah. I barely said a word, Michael, in the last 15 minutes. I mean, Arsenal, Bournemouth. Stop talking about style. Come on.
Don't worry about the comments. Don't worry about
Stop interrupting us, Mari.
All right. You know, I mean, come on. No, so the it's really deceptive. It's really been some games, and there are some games that we could have won. The one that we draw 2-2, the game that Session pocketed, Salah in his back pocket. Going into this game, I said this a couple weeks ago of this being a very open game. And like I said, I heard some Liverpool people, they're worried about this game because they know they can score goals on us. We can score goals on them. And so I think the key is going to be who really wins that midfield battle. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a real good one. Liverpool got Sabasai and McAllister. We got, Basuma, Madison, because I'm assuming Madison is playing. And Sarr. I think
who's holding mid for Liverpool?
Endo can play there.
No, McAllister's been playing their 6. Don't. We're not saying who can, or he's asking who has been. McAllister.
My bad.
Didn't they drop
McAllister's
him?
not a 6 for me.
He's not. That's where he's been playing.
But wait, didn't they drop him as a 6?
No.
Now it's Endo that plays with him? No? Well, that's just asking for trouble against the best midfield in the Premier League.
It is.
1 minute, Mari. What's your prediction?
It's over. For
that's what it is because Liverpool, I think, are going. You're probably the most clinical team that we're going to see, other than City. I think it's going to be 3-3. It's interesting how Liverpool's going to start because Liverpool is deep. It will be interesting to see who they have in their front 3 tomorrow. I mean, there's between 5 or 6 people. It could be really interesting. With Mo Salah being the mainstay, it could be Nunez. It could be Salah, Nunez, and
Luis Jota.
Yeah, Luis Diaz.
Nunez.
It could be Jota. It could be Gakpo and played in the middle of the
Harvey Elliott.
And so it's going to be really one of our biggest tests. But I think it's going to be a draw. I actually think it's going to be 3-3. It's going to be a wild game.
Yeah.
Mari's going 3-3. Before I go to Stefan, Laurie Boost, thank you for the super chat. Enjoy the show. Arsenal comfortable win. Hopefully we can get a draw. Al and our friends across the pond, are you enjoying the golf? I'm guessing Europe is picking up USA in the Ryder Cup. I'm guessing. I don't know golf, but for you to say that, that's what it
Americans
means.
don't produce the best athletes in the world anymore. And it's showing across all sports. It's pretty
Yeah, that's it. Wind them all up. That's it. Wind everyone up. Wind everyone up. Stefan. Spurs, Liverpool. Do you feel free, trash on us. Let's hear it.
No, I'm not gonna trash because you guys know my opinion of Liverpool. I don't think I don't rate Liverpool either because of their defense.
Dude, they're second in the league. They're scoring.
I know they're second, but they were all the games that I've watched against Liverpool, they were fortunate. They were fortunate against Wolves. They were poor against Wolves, and the Wolves should have been.
But they take their chances, though, don't they?
I know, but still, this is not sustainable.
That's all you need sometimes, no?
Yeah, I agree. But this will catch up, and even against Bournemouth at home, Bournemouth really should have been 2 or 3 goals up, and they were lucky because they scored a goal and it was called offside. So I just think this game has. I honestly don't know this game because Liverpool's defense is all over the place. They will give you chances. That's the thing, and Son is lethal when it comes to finishing. But I don't know. I just think you guys never play. You can never beat Liverpool. The last few years, have you beaten Liverpool the last few years?
The last time was at Wembley.
Yeah.
So
at home.
Yeah, like my distant memory is even when you played well, you still didn't beat them. You still draw with them. Like I remember, was that the game where Sissoko?
Wembley, we beat them like 4-1.
No, Wembley is 2000 and was that 5
17?
years ago?
18, 19?
2017, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember even in games where you played well against them. I remember the 2-2 at your stadium where you should have won that game and still finished 2-2. The game where Sissoko skied the ball. I remember that game. You played better than them. I don't know. Liverpool just have this thing over you guys that I don't.
Yeah, but that was with Firmino, and Firmino's gone. It was always Firmino.
They still have.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No, it was always Firmino who came in there. Old Bobby used to come in and nick us in the last minute every single time.
He always scored.
He had a really
He always scores against
Bobby.
He only scores against 2 teams. This guy. He scores against us and he scores against you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it was always Bobby. I can't remember any other time when we were leading the game and they came up, or even drawed coming into the 80th, 90th minute, and it was always Bobby. And every time he would come off the bench, I know I could sit there in my house and I'd be, oh fuck, I'm done getting up.
It's the same.
Especially last season when he came off the bench at like 60th minute, didn't play the whole game. I was like, we've lost. Time to go. Shut it off.
Last year wasn't even a starter, wasn't playing well, wasn't at the same level that he was. Came off the bench, scored a finish that it was just ridiculous. That
he header in the box.
Yeah, he just always
doesn't even not even a header, but he's just.
But I really rate. I know people make fun of him, but I really rate Darwin Núñez. I think he's a really good player.
I think he's a bum.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Wolves controversial takes.
He does miss a lot of chances as well.
He misses a lot, but he creates so much chaos. Like if you watch him how he plays, like he creates so many.
So does Richarlison, and I'm not picking him to go in any teams.
Don't compare Richarlison to Darwin.
Richarlison does not have the engine. Richarlison does not have the engine. Richarlison does not make the runs that Núñez makes. Richarlison does not score the amount of goals that Núñez scores.
What are you talking about? Richarlison has more Premier League goals per season than Darwin Núñez has. What are you talking about? He scored 5 goals last year. What are you talking about?
One minute. Stefan, what's your prediction?
What
are you talking about? It's Uruguay and Richarlison, man.
1 minute. Stefan, your prediction.
Where's the game still? Is it at Anfield or at
Spurs?
You guys
wackiness.
You guys never beat them. 2-2. Okay. I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2. So Mari's gone 3-3. You've gone 2-2. Matt.
It's a real fascinating game. Real fascinating game. I think it's going to be a big test, another big test for Spurs. I'm hoping we gain confidence from the game against Arsenal. Before you say it, Stefan, we didn't win the game. We've established that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But I think we would have. There was a lot of unknowns going into that game, with I think 7 of our players making their debut. So I think they would have gained a lot of confidence from, in my opinion, passing that test. So for me, we've just got to what no one's mentioned it yet, but I think they're dangerous from set plays.
Yeah.
And we're susceptible, even though it hasn't always cost us a goal, but we're susceptible to that ball to the far stick. Clubs have seemed to work out that they block our defenders, and there's always seems to be a free attacker at the far stick. So I worry about Van Dijk from set plays. But I'm going for a narrow 3-2 Spurs win.
Ooh, Spurs to beat Liverpool would be monstrous.
Still, can I just install a caveat to my prediction? If Joe Gomez plays, you guys win this game easily. I just want to put that. My prediction is obsolete if Joe Gomez starts the game. Okay, I just want to make this clear.
That's fine. Wait till you hear my caveats. I've got loads.
Matip and Konate will play before Gomez.
If he plays, you guys win. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Will, tell us what do the stats say going into this one?
Yeah.
Actually, I've looked at the stats quite a bit.
Spurs 4-0.
No, it's not 4-0.
Okay.
I've looked at stats quite a bit on this one, and I'm looking at the whole entire team. So key passes, passes into the final third, passes into the penalty area, MPXG plus XG. So for when you're talking about quality of chances, Liverpool and Spurs are actually right about the same. There's some metrics in which we're just like one spot ahead of them, and there's other metrics when they're in one spot ahead of us. The game's going to be real even. Now, when it talks about build-up play, putting balls into the final third and stuff like that, and progressive carries, we've been quite a bit better than them. So I think it's going to be a game where we'll run probably about 58% possession to their 42. You'll see us getting into positions. The key for this game for us, I'm going to predict 3-2, just like Matt. But the key is going to be Son Heung-min, because
of course
Spurs have been, even though their MPXG is higher than ours, barely, we are exceeding our MPXG because of the clinicalness of Son Heung-min, right? He's what 5 goals in 3 games in the top spot, right? He always exceeds his XG by large amounts.
The greatest
so for us to overcome the gap between us and the quality of chances that we're creating, Son is going to have to score. If Son doesn't score tomorrow, we don't win, in my opinion. Not because it has to be Son, but because we have to be able to exceed the XG of chances that we're creating, right? And he's the only player we have that can do that.
Compensate.
Who can score from your team apart from Son? Let's be honest.
Lots of people score from our team. We've had like 10 score. We've scored 14 goals. Son has 5.
Got 2. Emerson Chicken-Ronaldo's got 1. I think Porro's got 1.
Madison.
Madison
scored. Charleston scored as well.
Charleston.
Romero.
Sarr scored.
Basuma hasn't scored. Pape Sarr scored as well against Man United.
That's true.
Yeah.
Madison. That's true. Madison. But I forgot about.
So I'm gonna go with Madison getting 1, Kulu 1, and Son has to get 1. Wow. I don't know where they're gonna happen in what order, but it's got to go that way. Son has to score.
So Will's got 3-2, same as Matt.
3-2.
Sorry, Will.
Yeah, 3-2.
3-2.
Yep.
Steve.
But if Son doesn't score, we'll probably lose.
So for you, basically, Son is the deciding factor then for you.
Son is,
So yeah, because my prediction is based off the statistics, and when you're sitting there even, right, and they're just slightly above us in them converting their chances, right. The only player that we have that exceeds their XG every single game that they score is Son, right. So the symmetry breaker between the amount of chances that both teams are creating and scoring is Son. Without that symmetry breaker, it's either a draw or a loss. In my opinion.
Okay. So if you're Jurgen Klopp and you do your statistical
I take Son out the game 100%.
Yeah,
just kick the shit out of him. That's what I would tell the Liverpool. Just kick the shit out of him. That's it.
They try every time, but
no. Will, can I just ask you something? That you're looking at the stats. Doesn't that story sound really familiar, like your previous seasons where Harry Kane and Son both exceeded their XG, and that's why
Harry Kane never really exceeded his XG that much. He was always very consistent with his XG.
He didn't exceed his XG, really?
Yeah, so Son matched his XG last season, even though everybody shit on him, right?
Well, Stefan,
Harry Kane.
If we go, sorry, I was gonna say if we go by what you're saying,
maybe like +1, +2. Son's like +8, +9 when he in a good season for Son.
No,
right?
but I'm just saying that was the main criticism of Spurs back in the day, because they would say if Son and Kane aren't as good at finishing and as clinical, then Spurs would be much worse. Isn't that the same kind of story right now that you're?
We don't have Harry Kane right now.
I don't forget Harry Kane, but Son. You're saying
how? 1 minute. Well, this is crazy. This is crazy. How is it a criticism? All it is reinforcing the class of the player.
No, but it's also, it's a criticism of the team basing itself that it's too reliant on two players, is because
that's why you have class players. How reliant was every team on Ronaldo and Messi and any quality player? Henry, how reliant was Arsenal on Henry? He was a magician for you. Scored so many goals. That's the whole point of a class player.
It's not.
That's the point of a class player.
Listen. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, right. Like, I didn't say this about my predictions against Arsenal when I predicted the 2-2 draw. Right. It doesn't matter if Son scored or not. We would have drawn you 2-2.
Of course.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, when you look at the numbers, right, and you're looking at the chances that both teams are creating, right. The XG from open play, right, not from penalties like Arsenal, but from actual open play that they're creating is slightly higher than ours, right? Even though we are creating quite a bit, right? So how do we overcome that gap in the number of chances, quality chances, or high XG chances that they're creating to what we're creating? What is that symmetry breaker? It's not Madison, it's not like Kulu. It's Son, who exceeds his XG in a game, right?
I know exactly what you're saying.
To break the barriers. That's what my prediction is based on.
Well, does anybody from Liverpool exceed their XG?
Not as much as Son. I'm sure they do. Somebody do. Darwin Núñez definitely doesn't.
I honestly don't think.
I can look it up.
Salah, maybe Salah.
Whilst Will looks that up, Steve, what's your prediction? What's your thought?
4-1 Spurs.
4-1 Spurs.
Genuinely,
Dude,
yeah. I think Liverpool. Actually, you know, the biggest thing for me is goalkeepers, because I think both goalkeepers are going to be facing probably 40 shots, maybe combined on target 20. Like, there's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of back. Oh, Jota's must. Okay, fair enough.
Can I say something? Steve, can I say something? I really, really hope we don't win 4-1. Right. Why? I really don't. I'll tell you why. Because
you're going to win the league.
I'll tell you why. If we win 4-1, sections of our fan base and the media are going to get carried away, and this stealth, silent, working in the backgrounds that's working in our favor is going to go badly wrong. I want to win, but I don't want to state.
If it's 2-0 Spurs, and then you score again and again, you're gonna be like, not happy.
No. I'll be happy. No, you missed my point. I don't want us to do something crazy like that, because I know people are gonna get carried away with it.
All right. I think
disgusting. It's gonna be disgusting.
Yeah, I hope it happens just so we can do this stream in a week and you're belly.
And tomorrow's my birthday, so we'll win.
Anyway,
my birthday.
No, I do think Liverpool.
Do you really think 4-1? Honestly,
Yes, I would put money on it.
Why,
bro.
Steve? Why?
Because they
what
can
about
score
Liverpool?
goals, and you said it yourself, Stefan. You don't rate Liverpool, especially defensively. So when
Joe
Spurs
Gomez
are
won't
scoring
play.
goals,
But Joe Gomez won't play.
We can win 4-1. I don't know if we will, but we can.
I think that would be my guess. I think something crazy is going to happen because you guys have the collective as a team, and you're at home as well. Liverpool are not great travelers.
That is
Right
true.
away.
That is a very
To
good
be
point.
honest, and also the other thing is too, what Liverpool are doing by going behind 1-0, 1-0, 1-0,
It's not
keep
sustainable.
back, that's eventually going to. That's exactly stuff.
Yeah.
That is eventually going to crumble. And when it and the thing is when it collapses, it collapses in explosive. It's like a huge kaboom. Like, remember when Man United were dog shit under Ole and they kept doing the 1-0 comeback, 1-0 comeback, and then Watford destroyed him like 4-0. Ole got the sack. This is like a mini version of that, I think, because Spurs have the weapons. Udogie, he wasn't great the first like 20, 25 minutes, a bit jittery probably. He's a 20-year-old kid, obviously.
Is Salah faster than Saka? Is Mohamed Salah faster than Saka?
Yeah, he is.
Well, if he is, then Udogie's going to have an even tougher time.
I don't think so. Top speed, I don't think so. You're talking about pace on the ball, maybe.
Well, Salah.
I don't know. I just think I think something crazy is gonna happen tomorrow. Because look, let's be honest, also here, people, right? A crazy thing happens every weekend in the Premier League. If I told you
this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
You're worried Burnley might beat you, but you think Spurs are going to slap Liverpool.
Yes, because
Mohamed Salah's not even in the top 10.
Am I not explaining?
Darwin Núñez is rapid.
Am I not explaining my predictions though? Am I not explaining it?
I swear to God, if you're right, the clip I'm gonna make you famous.
You know what? The last time I predicted a Spurs game, last time I predicted a Spurs game was the 2-1 Sheffield United win.
You cannot be right. You cannot be right, Steve. Because
I hope I'm right. Just you, Belly.
I'm saying if you're right,
Scott's gone 7-0 to Liverpool.
Can we talk about Scott in for a little bit, because I don't know what's happened to Scott. Like,
this is the Scott.
No, look, so I always like Scott. Hold on, I always like Scott's negative, stuff. It's always been fun. But it seems like he seems like he's kind of gone into a little bit of a Steph mode here. And he's so booty hurt that we don't have Pochettino. It's like he's just trying to crap on Inge every opportunity he gets. Like, Scott thinks we should be like 0-6 right now, right? Like, by the way we've played. I don't get it.
No,
I think we're playing good football. And we're playing good football to the fact where I am on a temporary truce right now with all Levy and Paratici fanboys, because right now my target are all of the neutrals and rivals who are going against us. So if anybody wants to unite, all past beefs are currently on hold for me until we mud the fan base.
Whoa,
the other fan bases. We can pick that stuff up later when the wheels fall off.
It's been 5 games. Like, how can you be still convinced? Let's see how you finish the season. Let's see where you finish. Give it a year, then tell me that everything is working.
I really, bro. If you guys win 4-1 tomorrow, Stefan's head is literally going to.
It's gonna be. Steve, I hope your prediction is wrong, because you know what's gonna happen.
Rafish, it's Rafish's turn. Rafish, tell us.
I think if you think the North London derby last weekend was a great game of football, I think Saturday's going to be even better. I think two teams in brilliant form. And I feel like, we know Liverpool, they head-to-head have a strong record against us. As I said earlier, we haven't beaten them home or away since Wembley in October 2017 under Poch. But at the same time, from our perspective, we just go about our business quietly. And as good as Liverpool are, defensively they're there to be got at, because Van Dijk has a mistake in him. Like before his injury, at one point he was one of the best centre backs in the world, but he's not the same now because of injury. Like, you don't become a bad player overnight, so it takes time to recover. But with us, like, we got the weapons to cause them problems, and I think they do have a tendency of coming back. Chelsea, they come back, got a draw. Newcastle, they come back. Wolves, they come back. Bournemouth, they come back. So, but again, the question is it sustainable? You know, I think that remains to be seen. But I think if it's at Anfield, then I would be pretty concerned because our record there is horrible.
4-1 win if it was at Anfield. Trust me.
Yeah. But I think us playing at home, you know, I think it's a stat that Ange Postecoglou's not lost in 50 home games in as a manager. Like, not just
but that's the same statistic.
Breaking news.
I don't like those.
Guys, breaking news. Sonny and Madison are not gonna play the game probably. Especially Sonny is breaking it in Korea.
Where have you heard?
No, it hasn't been on Twitter at all.
Ron Vignac in our WhatsApp group just said it, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Where's he?
Son
Postacoglu already said that they're playing, so
the Korean media has said he's injured.
yeah, the Korean media can't be believed. What person from the Korean media?
Okay.
Is there a source on
but
it?
Will.
Exactly.
On Arsenal injury news, they're correct when they're negative.
Sorry, did Rakic finish the
negative
prediction?
about Spurs?
Rakic,
injury?
No, I haven't given my prediction yet, so
he always gets interrupted. Next week, I'm gonna have to ban people because Rakic needs to speak.
Go on.
Go for it. No, I was gonna say, like, I mean, I'll go into prediction later, but it's gonna be a great game for sure. I think with home field advantage, you know, it's beneficial, and with us, like, we're playing as a unit rather than relying on individual players. Like Liverpool, as fantastic as they are, you know, Salah can step up at any given moment. Nunes can score a goal here and there. So I think you'd rather perform as a unit than relying on players that can drag us out of a hole. So prediction wise, I mean, I'm gonna agree with Matt and Will here. I think we can pull it off. I don't think it'll be clear like Steve's 4-1 prediction. I think I'm going for 2-1. I think to us. I think Son and Madison to score. I've got them both my FPL teams. So let's hope they perform.
So another confident prediction for a win. Right, this is what I think is going to happen tomorrow. So you want caveats? I'm going to give you caveats. If we have our starting 11 and they play the whole game, we're going to beat Liverpool just. If Son or Madison have to come off, like I think they will, because I don't think they're going to last the game, we're going to draw. If one of them misses the game tomorrow or goes off at half time, Liverpool's going to beat us. And that's exactly how I see this game going. What I will say, though, is this. All those dumbass, stupid things that have happened in the past, like Sissoko handballing it in the cup final, Sissoko missing that one-on-one with Van Dijk and the goalie at Anfield, Højbjerg missing that header in the last minute, Larouche the ball in the goal, Lucas Moura passing back, Eric Dyer. None of those players play for this team anymore. None of them.
And Firmino doesn't play for Liverpool anymore either.
And Firmino doesn't play for Liverpool. So in terms of dumb shit, I think we should. You never know it's Tottenham. We should be all right tomorrow. I honestly think Spurs are going to show up and we're going to give them one hell of a game. But I am worried about this Son and Madison thing. They're carrying knocks, and I don't see how they're going to play 90 minutes. I don't. And I think just like when they came off at the Emirates, we knew there goes our chance of winning it, even though Richarlison did have a fucking chance.
We just got to put him to bed in the first half, right? Like, I think based on Liverpool's first half performances this season, I think we could go 3-0 up in the first half, right? And then they could come back and score 2 goals and put it under pressure, and we just barely squeak out of there with a win.
Will is completely right.
No, 1 minute. I agree with Will here. I'll tell you why. The reason Liverpool got away with it is because they have not been punished early doors by the West Ham, by the Bournemouths, by the Wolves.
They've been getting away with it.
Have to punish it, but likewise, we've slightly got away with it for the same reason. So for me, I think tomorrow is absolutely golden. Spurs must score the first goal. We cannot go 1-0 down.
But
we go 1-0 down. But we'll at least the first 2. At least the first 1 minimum.
Hold on, but Liverpool's been getting scored against 1 goal in the first half, and they've just been coming in the second half. And in 15 minutes, they go from 1-0 to 3-1, and like it's not even like an extended period over the second half. It's like 15 to 20 minutes in that second half. It's just pop, pop, pop.
Yeah. No, but you guys are very similar, which is you start you Liverpool and Spurs the way they've played. You start a bit slow. Especially away from home, you start a bit slow, if they score a goal, Liverpool more so, they score a goal and then Liverpool just kick it up a gear. And what Will said, they score like 3 goals in 10 minutes or 15, and they win the game. And with Spurs, it's that's why this game is so interesting. It's because that both teams they're a little bit used to going behind. So I don't think still that if Liverpool go behind that the first goal is massive, in my opinion. I really think that.
Oh, but if we go behind, Stefan, I think we're in trouble. That's my point.
Well, hold on. So let me just clear some. So it says, Tony Go says that he checked the Korean news. So he says right here, Will Hyung name Hanguk News Day. So check it on there. They're saying Ange said that we need to look at their condition, which is what Ange said. He said they're back in training now, but we need to look at their condition. So no relatively valid news organization in Korea is reporting that Son's not playing tomorrow.
I got worried there. I got worried. Yeah,
guys, listen. One last.
Thank you, Tony. Go come up some dinner.
Thank you, Tony. One last game, and then we've got to wrap it up. By the way, we've got to do this one quick because I needed to end this show 20 minutes ago. I've got work tomorrow. It's Chelsea versus Fulham. Now, this is an interesting game because when we look at this one, Chelsea are currently in 14th in an absolute nightmare situation. Fulham, they're only 3 points ahead. They're not much better, but they're at home. It is a West London derby. Chelsea did get a win midweek, so they think now that they're turning a corner.
They're back.
Very, very quickly, let's go around. Just give me your prediction. We don't need to hear the big explanation. Just give me a score.
Fulham 2-0.
Fulham, Chelsea, Mari.
Fulham 2-0.
Fulham.
Who's going first?
Fulham.
Mari, yeah,
1-0. Fulham 1-0 for me.
I'm saying Mari, and everyone else is
Just kick it
shouting
out there, Mari. Say the thing prediction already.
Everyone else is
I said Fulham 1-0.
Yeah, that's what Mari said.
I'm not shouting at Mari. I'm shouting at everyone else.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. If you want it to go quick, stop going around the thing and just tell people to shout it out. Boom, move on to the next one.
Mari's
Jesus.
gone 1-0. Mari, you say 1-0.
1-0 Fulham.
Stefan.
1-0 Fulham.
Matt.
2-1 to Chelsea.
They're going to score 2 goals,
2-1
man.
Chelsea. Will.
Yeah.
2-0 Fulham.
2-0 Fulham. Steve.
0-0. Probably the second worst game of football. No,
Yeah, that's possible.
0-0.
That's true. That's true.
0-0.
2-1 Fulham.
Can I say this? Can I say this?
Before you say it, my prediction's 1-1. Go for it, Mari.
If Chelsea did not score that goal during on Wednesday, you know they would have been forced to pick a training goal for goal of the month.
I'm sure they just wouldn't have done
Mudryk.
it. You don't have to pick a goal.
Mudryk, he scored
1 minute. 1 minute.
That's how
So
bad.
because of that, is that goal midweek automatically their goal of the month then?
Yeah.
That's their goal of the month. That's how bad they are.
So
If
that was a tap in, it would have got goal of the month.
Yeah. If they didn't,
That's the only goal they've scored all month.
Here's the worst news.
Oh,
Ben
my
Chilwell is injured for a month, so Ben Chilwell is out of that game. So that's another injury that they're
He's a
going to
good
have.
player as well.
It's not like, no, is he really that good? Is he really?
Mallow?
Injuries have devastated Chilwell for like the past 2 seasons.
Chelsea been playing really well. They just can't
I
score.
think he's overrated, but they don't have a left back. The next left back is Ian Maatsen, who, let's be honest, would you prefer Chilwell or Ian Maatsen?
I'm taking Maatsen. I think he's a
come on,
far
Steve.
better footballer.
Steve.
All right, this is for another show, another week. Guys, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go around the table. Everyone say your good nights, last thoughts, and then we're going to wrap it up. Make sure you subscribe to Tottenham Away. Make sure you subscribe to Strasbourg Steve's channel. Mari, last words gone. You got everyone gets 15 seconds, and then that's it. We're done.
Tomorrow, 3-3, but my heart wants 4-3, so I'm rooting for my heart. 4-3. Let's go. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Stefan.
Just general thoughts, or what do you want
15
me to
seconds. You've already lost 3.
Still, this is not fair.
Close it out.
10 seconds.
Thanks. Thank you for having me on the show and for dealing with me. And tomorrow is the day that Spurs cement their title challenge for good. They're coming. They're coming. I can expect it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Stefan. Matt.
3-2 Tottenham. We are in a rich vein of form, and I hope Arsenal lose.
Arsenal finished in 5th. I'm done. Back to you, so.
Here he goes.
Strasbourg, Steve.
86 point. We'll add it again. Yeah.
I'm a bit nervous about Burnley. I can't lie.
Oh my god!
No, they're gonna try to play football against. No, I'm
I can't. You predicted Spurs are gonna win 4-1, and you're underconfident about Burnley, Steve.
No, bro, weird stuff happens all the time.
Steve, you got 5 seconds left.
Away the lads. Go on, boys.
Away the lads. Rathish.
2 things. Angie's at the wheel and Bryn on Saturday against the Scousers.
Bring on Saturday. All right, my final words are, I think we're going to draw tomorrow. I think that's what's going to be the final outcome, 2-2 or 3-3. Make sure you watch tomorrow, the live watch-along on our channel, Tottenham Away. I'm going to be with Brian Daigle on Tottenham TV, and then we've got a show on Will Stewart's Late Show, then we've got a show on Monday. Check us all out. Thank you to all the Super Chats. Member for 5 months, Henry Thong. Super Chat from Henry Thong as well. Wolves F1, big up. Della Spurs, as always. And Laurie Boost, big up to you guys. Thank you to everyone on the panel, Mari, Stefan, Matt, Will, Steve, and Rafish. Big up to you guys. Thanks for joining us. And on that note, peace and bring it on tomorrow. Let's go.
Come on, you Spurs.
Take it easy, bro.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.